Tuna wageni watatu, Mheshimiwa Sebastian Kapufi mbunge, ambao ni wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani. Wadau wa maendeleo kutoka Marekani, karibuni sana.
Container packed with supplies that need to make their way to families in Africa, like yesterday. You said this is a 53-foot trailer?
53-foot trailer.
This trailer is packed with medical supplies destined to the motherland. We need to help get these out of here.
Shalom, Salama, Siyemi, Shalawam. Greetings to all my Israelite brothers and sisters from around the world, whether you are the bloodline of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, the house of Israel, or you're a Gentile grafted into the house under the blood of Yahushua HaMashiach. I welcome you this morning. We have an open discussion, honestly, because there's just so much to talk about. There's so much to discuss that's going on all throughout the world. Before I do, I'd like to say thank you, family, for your support. If you'd like to support this channel, this helps to support this channel. You can give to Cash App $COVAWK. COVAWK. Also, family, continue to support Quest Unite Africa. We're about 1,100 away from our goal, our weekly goal. That helps to support our weekly operations. Generally, it's about $2,500 a week that supports our weekly operations. So, family, I appreciate that, the gifts, but that helps to support this channel and ongoing efforts. Because if you haven't been here for a while, over the last year, it has truly been amazing to see what the Most High has done on this platform and on many other platforms in this community. But in order for that to continue, family, we ask for your support. We ask for your help. That's just how it goes. And you can send me all the hate emails and everything else. Why do you do this? Why do you ask? Hey, listen, you don't question any type of pastors asking for donations or offerings or tithes. So stop with that. Y'all freely give to the storehouse. Oh, pastor don't even read from the Bible. Here you go. That's how our people are. It's just programming. And I get the programming because I'm going to tell you this. There's a lot of folks at Princeton and MIT and other Ivy League universities that are questioning the programming that we've been under for these last 400 years. And now, all of a sudden, isn't it amazing? The Gentiles awakening. Uh, uh, they're converts, but who's the rest of the people? And we've been saying, here we are. Listen, I don't even care. Let them be destroyed in their foolishness because we don't have time for it anymore. All we're trying to do now is build amongst ourselves and get ready for the fallout that they've caused. We can't help you when that judgment comes. I don't know about what scriptures it says that we would be helping out the Gentiles as we're leaving. Show me a scripture. Because it clearly says in Isaiah that when we leave, they're going to be grabbing a hold of our hems and asking, can we leave with you? Which way is it to Zion? Where are you going? We would like to come. Just paraphrasing. It didn't say that we're going to sit down and have a debate and have a discussion of, we're leaving because of this and this and that. And because, no, we're out. And see, when you see that there has to be the National Guard called, exactly, sister, let's be real. When you see that the National Guard has to be called, well, guess what? The mind control and the programming is no longer. I do ask for your support every day, and I'm asking for your support now because I need your help. And I will just come through and passively say, thanks for your support. No, but today I need your help. And I ask for your help usually about once a quarter. And I've learned one thing in this process that the Most High has put me on, that I cannot be too ashamed to ask for help. Good or bad, right or wrong, it is what it is. Everybody has some sort of thought or I process or things of that nature. Hey, whether I get your help or not, I'm still doing the Most High's work. That's it. But I do appreciate the help that you provide. And I'm asking for your help today, family. And honestly, I'm asking for your help because really, I don't know what things are gonna look like here in about another month. Because we're gonna discuss all this. Waiting patiently in the back is our lovely sister from the UK, our UK correspondent, Sister Chantel. Shalom, Sister Chantel.
Shalom.
I,
I want to
I
say
got
shalom to everybody in the chat as well.
I
Shalom
gotta
to the
ask
family.
before we go. I gotta ask you one question. One
Mhm.
question. Were you able to get your horses back? Wasn't that you that released your horses?
Release the krakens. I said, release the horses. It's time.
Isn't that always
Oh,
like the ominous signal? It's like you see something happening, and then it's like what, a month or like a week later, something like that. Like they do this on purpose.
listen, it's so funny because every time something like this happens, Brother Mike always says, did we not just talk about how something might happen the next week or something's going to happen soon? And it's like, we've been feeling this.
Wait a
We've been feeling
wait a
this.
second. Wait a second. Did I not just talk about this literally Monday, Tuesday, and Wednesday? Right?
Yeah.
We not just talk about, look, we went through the plague, the pestilence, right? And now we're about
Mm,
to go through the famine and the sword. And the famine and the sword are what? Combined.
yep.
We had said we were literally talking about this because why? Listen, we're going through famine. This is why I'm asking for help. Because why? Because that help isn't just, well, Brother Karras just needs help and stuff like that. No, that help is I'm going to the continent. I'm going to be talking in front of these ministers of finance, education, technology, telecommunications, health. That's what I
Mm,
do daily to get everything coordinated so we can have a plan to present in front of our brothers and sisters in Burkina Faso. They want us there. Oh my goodness, this is weird because remember a couple of years ago, the Hamites never want us. Remember that whole debacle? The Hamites. And then you find out, no, those are Israelites. And then you find out, no, they really do know their tribe. They just don't want to say it.
mm.
Why would I want to tell you my tribe so then you can steal my name? You did it to Judah, they did it to us.
Well, that's exactly what I said. What do you remember when I was talking about the end scene in Star Wars, the last Star Wars episode 9, when Rey was covering up the lightsabers, and she took on the name Skywalker.
Hmm.
They keep telling you what they plan to do and what they have done, and it's like they literally rub it in your face.
Yeah,
You know,
yeah.
they rub it in your face.
Well, absolutely, because we haven't done anything about it for the last, you know, millennia or so. We've been watering ourselves down because why? It's been our leadership that folks say, I want to be the leader, follow me. And then every leader that we've had has had some sort of a flaw that then they sell out.
Mm,
That's what happens. What does it say? Woe to the shepherds.
yeah.
I mean, this is what's happened. Now, all of a sudden, now we're in a different age and a different dispensation.
Also says that the shepherds pity them not.
Yep, and the shepherds pity them not. Exactly. To get devoured by what? The ravenous wolves and what? The birds of the air, the fowls of
Mm.
the air.
But notice, I love that's one of the reasons why we love when we see Micah 5 play out, because those those beasts of the field and everything, they get their comeuppance by the the young lions, sorry, in
Hmm.
Micah 5 verse 8.
Exactly. They're going to get destroyed. And really, that destruction is imminent. I was thinking about something earlier today. And, I had watched Canadian Prepper a little earlier. And even he had this. I was surprised when he said, this is something if you are, a Bible believer or a Christian and, you see this going on. And I'm surprised you use eschatological, you know,
Did you
timeline.
use it correctly as well?
I'm like, what? Eschatological? I'm like, from Canadian Prepper? Oh, that's definitely going to mess with the algorithm. But it was interesting because when you
Sorry,
have,
Carrots. Did you see what Eric Tinsley just wrote? We're getting there. We're getting there.
yeah, yeah, the seals are being broken. But again, who are they being broken by?
Them.
Them. No matter what we do, we're not going to do anything. All we're doing is just being participant, seeing what's happening. To me, it looks as though in the next couple weeks, we're going to see something major occurring. And the reason I say that in the next couple weeks, we're going to see something major occurring because they are trying to prop up steadfast defender, a NATO exercise, joint exercise that is going throughout all of really Finland to Poland to basically all countries on the border of Russia as a
Hmm.
unified exercise, for command and control. Boy, if that's not telling you how they're gearing up for war, I don't know what is.
There's
So,
no exercises in this time, and
no, they're not. They're not. These are drills.
mm,
This isn't an exercise. It's a drill. And then when that drill happens, and then once they go across the border, right? They'll have some sort of legalese or whatever to state, well, we had to invade Russia because Russia was doing X, Y, and Z, and they'll make something up. Who knows? Who cares? They'll make something up. But I believe that at the end of May, Zelensky is done. They're giving Zelensky all the opportunity to negotiate. And you have to remember Zelensky, he pinned himself in. He's now in a rock and a hard place. If he negotiates with Russia, he's dead by the West.
Mm-hmm.
If he doesn't negotiate with Russia, he's dead by Russia and Putin
And everybody else.
and everybody else.
We're talking about the BRICS.
Yep.
It's going to be very hard to survive in the world that's coming. This is where they find themselves. What do we do? The old guard is dying.
Mhm.
Is literally dying. How do you, when most of the world, especially the world where you get all your resources from, are starting to come together to form this economical block? What do you do?
Exactly. Exactly. Do you see that they streamlined the timeline for when they're going to have the BRICS currency?
Oh yeah, perfect, isn't it? It's masterful, is what it is. But we know that it's not really them doing it. This is the Most High. That's why I said he's playing multi-dimensional chess.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Let me get some guidelines to this, okay? We're not coming in with any craziness. We're talking about what's going on in the current state, the current situation. All right. If you're talking crazy and your craziness abounds, then I will ban you from the studio. If you're coming on in here with any other agendas or things of that nature than what we're normally talking about, I'm banning you from the studio. I don't have time for this because that's where I'm at. Thank you, family, for your support, your gifts for Covenant Awakenings. You can give at Covenant Awakenings, $ COVAWK for Cash App. Thank you for your gifts. All right, we're going to bring on another guest that hasn't been on for a while. Sister Newbie and me. Shalom.
Shalom, family. I was just calling and saying to say, you know, blessed, blessed Passover, for everything that's happening. You've been watching, listening, and just giving thanks for this season and the gathering. Yeah, I haven't been around, but I want to thank Covenant. I want to thank the whole family. I want to thank this whole ministry, even though you haven't seen me for a while. And I know I got in trouble a while ago, but we've been really productive and busy. And I want to thank the family out there, especially from the Quest Unite Africa family, for even helping us out here in Northern California. So even when you don't hear, when you don't hear from us, people from the community are still working together. So big shout out to Candy and the whole family for helping us at Chico State. And what's up, Chantel? Come on,
I
yeah.
was going to say shalom. It has been a long time. I was just wondering. I was talking to my mum, and I said, I haven't seen Sister Newbie and me. I was wondering what happened to you. It's whatever. Everybody has their views, and Karis is very
Ardent and steadfast.
Karis is Karis. But it is nice to hear your voice, though. I'm not gonna lie, it is nice to hear your voice. I don't care who has whatever views or anything. I'm very much for our people, regardless.
I mean, I
So
don't know why I get in so much trouble with Karis, but I think we're about the same. We're very similar in that he wants to make sure it stays focused. I don't know, I may say things
I'm,
that come off the other side, but when you meditate and think on it, I'm not going too far off. I'm not coming with no agendas,
I'm,
but that's
I'm
all
a,
right, Karis. You got to make sure you're policing, making sure Newbie and me don't say anything too wild. You know what I'm saying? I get it. I get it. We got to keep the house tight.
so I'm going to ask you this because it's been a while since you came on, and it is very appropriate to really understand your perspective of what we see in Haiti and what we see going on and what that means. Because that's a big one. You know, they're trying to say that barbecue was saying to burn down the houses of families that either didn't politically align with him, or I don't know.
Okay.
Can you give
Well,
um a brief synopsis of that situation in Haiti?
sure. Give thanks, and I'll try to do as best as I can. Now, we're just gonna take a couple of months back. We did talk about this. Remember, I
Hmm.
mentioned the Haitian problem is a U.S. intervention problem.
Hmm.
That's really the main problem. And the main problem, we're going to go back a little bit more to the Charter of Imperialism. And if anybody has an opportunity, please Google that, the Charter of Imperialism, because this is what Haiti, what they have been, foreign affairs have been, this contract they've been dealing with Haiti, along with other countries, but Haiti more specifically for longer. So check out the Chart of Imperialism. You'll be like, oh, wow. So in other words, there's a lot of puppets and a lot of people who've been playing a lot of dirty parts. So one of the things I want to say is I'm glad people are astute enough to know when they say Haitian gangs, they're using the whole like fear tactic. Anything black, any black person with guns, that's definitely not is a gang. Not a paramilitary person, not someone who used to be in the police. So just for to clarify things, Barbecue used to be a police officer. So he is a military person. He's an official who has, I guess, found a way to get all the other uh, militias that the United States and other foreign countries have purchased, aka called gangs, street gangs. He's found a way to kind of unify them.
Hmm.
Needless to say, Barbecue's hands are not clean. Now, let me just go back because his name is Barbecue, not because he liked to burn people or because he's a terrorist. No, because his mother used to sell food in the neighborhood and his name was Jimmy Barbecue because his mother used to do barbecue and that was a cute little name. Oh, Jimmy Barbecue now. Lila. So he was a very helpful person. So Barbecue, they're painting him out like, again, I'm not going to say he's like, woo, woo, some freedom fighter, but for a quote unquote gang member, he sure wants the very most important things: education, nutrition, and self determination for the Haitian people.
Hmm.
Okay, they don't like that because they didn't handpick him. The thing with Barbecue is he knows the dirtiness because he himself, back in the day, was employed by the oligarchs that run Haiti. When I'm talking about oligarchs, I'm talking oligarchs that are from Israel, oligarchs that are from the Middle East, oligarchs that aren't even of Haitian descent.
Okay, hold that thought. Hold that thought,
Yes, sir.
because that's the same concept of what you see now with Burkina Faso and
Mm-hmm.
how Burkina Faso pulled away, and now this is why they reached out to the African diaspora to help them. You're not going to hear that on Tariq Nasheed.
Exactly.
You're not going to hear that. Sorry, go ahead.
Brother, you just said it. It's the same plan, the same game. So if we're talking about, you just Google the Charter of Imperialism, it's the same game plan they've been working on both sides. If they can't control you, then they're gonna demonize you. Again, I'm not saying barbecue is like the man, but to be honest, it's the only option at this point. He's like, what can we say? What some indigenous people who've been vilified? What Mexican people can he's like
Yeah,
Pancho Villa.
Geronimo.
Yeah,
You
he is
had,
Geronimo. He's the
mhm,
Pancho Villa of IT right
yeah.
now. He's like, but because he's not in Caracom's pocket and
Hmm.
because he's not folding, and I'm not saying that he's not folding as of yet. Some people say he's this and that. What I say is that he's still an instrument of the Most High Yah, our creator as a disruption. And again, everybody's starting to notice that the big Haitian problem is an American problem that has started since we've tried to pay off our slavery debt. And the United States took that debt. And since the um, 1900s, first U.S. occupation, and it's
Hmm.
the Clinton Foundation. Please, oh,
So
fuck,
so
yeah,
so so if people don't know what ended up, I believe it was Teddy Roosevelt with the Rough Riders. They went down into Haiti and they stole all their money from the banks. They
the
stole all their
gold,
gold.
my friend.
They
All
stole all their gold.
and again,
Yes, they did.
and what's happening right now in Haiti is because the minerals that are being mm, excavated are
Yeah,
very
mind.
important.
Hmm.
Exactly. It's very important for this new technical, whatever new thing. I mean, I'm not really great on it. A lot of our science people have broken down the minerals. That's very imperative to this new AI.
AI,
Hey, thank
fourth,
you.
fifth, whatever revolution, this technical revolution, they have
Yes,
basically the chromium, the cobalt,
yes.
all of
It's
those things that make the
Africa.
transistors and the
It's
microchips
Africa right behind. Africa right in the
right
U.S.
behind it. Hmm. Yep.
Yes, brother. Exactly what's happening. But again, I always say Haitian people, what Haitian people need, because the Haitian people, let's not forget, a large number of them of Nigerian descent.
Yep.
So you're
Yes, they
talking
are.
about a lot of Igbos there. Listen,
Hmm.
even our Haitian culture, I do a lot of culture and art and theater. There are 5 different particular dances that we do: Igbo, Nago, Congo, Yanvalu, and don't take away my Haitian card. I can't remember the fifth one, but the top two, the Igbo and the Congo, that's definitely, you know what I'm saying, a
Hmm.
region thing.
Hmm.
Nago, Yanvalu, and Mayi. Mayi is, again, when you look at the Mayi dance, it's directly related to the Igbo kind of Mayim, Mayi, the M in the Hebrew.
Hmm.
So all of that is just as much as we could remember. And then the Catholicism came in and just,
Mm.
like, erased the Levitical ways of doing. Even there are some celebrations in IT called Sukri. Now that sounds like Sukkot.
Sugar. It sounds like sugar,
It,
right?
it sounds like but Sukri and Sukkot. Now during Sukri, now it's not the same time as Sukkot. It's in April. They go
Hmm.
into the huts. They go into the huts for 7 days, and there's a 7 day ceremony.
Hmm.
That's just too ironic. So we are looking at, and again, I'm just saying, the thing that Haitians need, if we as compassionate African diaspora right now, first of all, we just need your voice to say enough.
Hmm.
Now, secondly, we need the education, meaning there's no literacy. Literally,
Yeah.
there's 90, there's 80, like a huge percentage of people who do not know how to read. So once you have a percentage who 90%, 90, 86, 80% of the population that doesn't know how to read, that is definitely, my people perish, right?
That's
That's
slavery. That you're an enslaved
okay.
continent. If you
Okay.
don't even know how to educate yourself, you're an enslaved continent.
Because school cost. And right here
Oh
is
my
where you start.
goodness.
It's
Can I say something? Can I interject? I was going to say that it's so funny you brought up Burkina Faso, but you will find those numbers
It's the same.
exactly the same,
Yeah.
exactly the same, and it's the same entity that has stripped away their improvement, their ability to improve themselves, and kept them like that. That is both France initially and then America, because
So
France went in there.
let me tell
Sorry,
you.
go on.
Let me tell you next week, or not next week, in a couple weeks, When I'm there on the ground in Burkina Faso, I'm meeting with the Minister of Education. Shout out to QTUA and shout out to ADDI for putting it all together. But for our folks here, we've been working on our education since we started. Sister Nebe and me knows that.
Since the
And then
foundation. Since the
yes, the
foundation.
foundation. Exactly.
So that's what I'm saying. So the two things, education and
Hmm.
nutrition. Education, nutrition. How an island don't have food?
Oh yeah, I'm meeting with the Minister of Health too. Minister of Health too. Yeah.
When Paco Kwanzaa, new Paco Kwanzaa, that don't add up. That ain't not adding up. We got bananas. We got the same
Oh
thing
my
ER
goodness.
has. We got the same land. Why are people starving of education? Why are children still eating dirt cookies? No, not children. Whole families eating dirt cakes.
Mm, mm,
Why?
mm.
So that's what it is. The three things we need is education, nutrition, and then our own self-determination. Nukone, we know what we need, but see if we get the education through the scriptures, if we get the education, if we start going education and giving free schools to kids with the foundation of biblical teaching, English, Hebrew, Ge'ez or Gamharic, Spanish, whatever. We go in, bump French, because we got Creole. We got Creole Bibles, bro. We don't need
Eh,
French. We got Creole Bibles all day. Creole,
So
English, Spanish, Amharic, Arabic. Because you know why I'm going to say Arabic? Because listen, we got mosque on Haiti. The
mhm,
Muslims know what they're doing in Haiti because they run all the stores, okay?
mm.
All I got to say. We don't have no synagogues, not that I know of. That's why everybody, all the crypto Jews, like my great grandma, became a 7-day Adventist. You understand?
Mm. Sister Chantel, that may speak for some things, especially on
Yep.
within the Caribbean. And with ADDI, I'm gonna let you know there are some folks that know they're Hebrews. There's some folks they know they're Israelites. There, look,
Yeah.
it's look when you run them down in the background, they'll let you know.
You let me tell you, bro, how deep it is. You don't even let you know. There's some certain families you can marry into in certain islands. Now I know Chantal can tell you that. A lot of people don't know why because it was so secretive. It was so crypto. It was so like, what's going on here? We just why are we like that? But when you saw the Manischewitz and the crackers, you know what I mean? We just thought it was snack. No, our grandmother, who again is Ethiopian, Beta Israel. See, the thing a lot of people don't know is after Haiti got its independence, it had diplomatic relationships with Menelik and was trying to kind of become that whatever. But then people and egos and everybody became an emperor, Faustin, all kind of crazy stuff that happened politically. But back in the day, Haiti had education. Education was important. But once these Negroes know who they are, okay, we could just stop that. US, we need to come in and stop this 1900s. You feel?
Mhm.
I mean,
Well,
1900s, not that
so
far.
think about where we're at right now, and think about where. Okay, we've had a voice. We've had a platform, not just on YouTube, but social media in general, and really the biggest platform in terms of social media, which is TikTok, has been showing and providing some truth bombs. And like I said, TikTok's the first platform to go. And then the next platforms will be, the ones that we're talking on right now with Facebook and YouTube. They said they want it sold because why? So they can control the narrative. And to me, I think really it's a bit too late because now folks have to really understand what's happening. And because of the way that they're reacting, something is going on. There's some truth being told, and now people have to sit up and percolate, or they gotta prop up their ears a bit.
Karis, how I like to think of it is, you know how we think about the Cold War? A lot of people don't understand the Cold War was a lot of like disinformation, misinformation, no information. This is like the like ice cold war, nuclear war. I don't know what this is. This is like
This is over in saturation of information that you can
it's the
literally indoctrinate people with it.
it's the opposite of the Cold War. It's like over, and the Most High is just letting the floodgates open up, just like these scriptures that we're all reading, the ones that you've been reading on your platform. Remember, those scriptures were sealed up. Daniel and Ezra and all those prophets were. The Most High said, "Seal this up until the last days, so that my word can be revealed."
Hallelujah. Absolutely.
The little book of Daniel.
So let's get this on over to our brother Rojo, who
Hey, Rojo!
we had
Hey,
the missing persons. You know, he decided to show up.
Out here, I was like, "Where's the laughter? Where'd he go? Where'd he go?"
yeah, I've been dealing with some really personal, heavy stuff in my life. I mean, it was almost to a point of violence and Paris. I can relate with what you were going through with your situation in your personal life, what you divulged to the rest of us. And I was like, you know what? I just need to go ahead and start doing some assessing and some evaluating. And it was a Israelite brother that I kind of took under my wing and tried to, treat him like a little brother. And he just stabbed me in the back. I was like, you know what? I would expect that from them folks, but from you, I was like, you know what? I need to do some process and I don't need to see you for a little while because I may not be responsible for my actions. And the courts don't care about that when it comes to us.
Mm-hmm.
So I was just like, you know what, dude? Just move around. Don't let me see you. And I know you like to be aggressive, talk about you about that life. Well, I tell you what, I'm gonna put you there. I mean, so I was like, yeah. I mean,
I'm glad you did not choose violence, Rojo.
Whoa, Rojo is about to let somebody taste the rainbow. For real.
hey, Chantel.
You was about to skittle somebody.
In rapid succession, probably run through a couple of those magazines. Go to the bookstore, bought the whole magazine rack.
But brother Rojo,
taste the rainbow, bro.
I'm glad you understand. Listen, our people are in a very destroyed state. We absolutely are. I don't even know how I'm still on here Thursday, April 25th, 2024. Almost 4 years now. And I've had to interact with some folks, personally, professionally, financially. And I'm going to tell you this. Yeah, if you don't think that our people are going to do something crazy, yes, they do. Which is why I always have advocated transparency. You want to see the books? We got the books. Sister Princess is right there. Because why? Because we try to deliver on our promises. It's going to take us time to get to our promises. We're not flush with millions of dollars to make something happen. No, the only thing that we have that makes things happen is literally our word and our understanding of how to move things along. And when we do move things along, guess what? There's a wealth that's created. And generally speaking, even with that, the wealth really isn't reciprocated to us. So, there is where we kind of are in a stagnation of sorts. We don't want to say it, but it is.
We are planting seeds, and I wanted to say happy birthday to you, because you've been here, you've been strong, but it's important that we understand, like Mashiach showed us, we are planting seeds, and seeds
Mm-hmm.
don't take a day. A tree doesn't take a day so we are actually planting seeds for the future. We
Mm-hmm.
may not even see it, but praise the Most High, our great great grandbabies will see it. Not only see it, live it, and have these testimonies, these videos on to bring it up, these archives. So we are planting seeds, and our real treasure is in the kingdom that is everlasting.
Well, yeah. Now that's scary to them because now there's literally a kingdom that they see starting to form. Right, their kingdom is really going away, and they are showing that by their actions. They're getting ready to hold an exercise that they know is going to be turning into a conflict. And when that conflict happens, guess what? The folks over in their countries, especially here in the United States, they're going to get scared. They're going to get scared. They're going to get um, messed up in, of sorts. Because think about this, you're having an exercise of your largest force ever. They said it's going to be like around 300,000. I say probably around maybe 500 to 600,000 will be, standing by. To me, all that means is all those forces that are there, they're just there for chopped liver. They're just there to get smoked because they ain't having nothing that's going to defeat them Kenzals and the Sarmats or the Sarmatans, whatever they call it, the Sarmats. The Satan 2 rockets. That's hypersonic.
Hey,
Have
hey,
you
Terrence, bro.
have you
I'm,
go ahead. They got a hypersonic Kit Kat, as Roger would say. They're shooting hypersonic Skittles. You ain't stopping no hypersonic Skittle. Or is that
and, and, and they have a powerful impact like a starburst.
is it would it be a Skittle or a Cowtail? I think
But
Hey, see, I didn't go there.
maybe, 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 maybe gotta be hypersonic because they don't be listening. They don't be they don't be hearing. So y'all gonna give it to them. Y'all gonna give it to them. And what is this? It's almost like when you were speaking, I was thinking about what's that scripture that says the Most High gonna make them drink that wrath, that thing of confusion and
yeah,
derision. So
yeah,
they're being almost forced to drink that. They are being forced to drink that.
yeah. I mean,
hey,
Big
think about
keg,
how crazy that is. You
big
have no
keg
tactical
of
advantage.
confusion.
hey,
You have no
Karis, two
tactical
points.
advantage. Yeah, go ahead.
Two points. Did you see? And I'm so now. This is what makes me smile at my people, even within the diaspora. With as much as and I don't know. Before let me go ahead and give a preamble to that. And Sister Chantel, we've already discussed this, ad nauseum. So you already know that we all good. But Karis, why is it with us here in America of the diaspora, such a small percentage, the diaspora beyond that, in the Caribbean and on the continent tend to team up and come after us? What's up with that?
Hey, listen, man. Sorry to cut. I don't even know what's going on. Every time I look, I see some Brit opening their mouth and speaking some stupidness. Somebody on the continent saying something. Somebody in the Caribbean saying something. I'm like, what is going on? Shut up. Sit down.
Because I'm gonna tell you, we're the first ones to ride for the diaspora. I mean, we're the alphas over here in the United States. We will, get out there, and we've done it for Ethiopia. We've done it for, so, unfortunately, we've done
South
it.
Africa.
Yeah, and I'm so disappointed in them. I don't. I just can't. I just can't. I can't. I can't. But I mean, just everywhere, even that land east of the Mediterranean, we're the reason that they are.
They are. Yeah. We
Yeah,
fought
where they are. Yeah,
yeah,
exactly.
we fought the hardest for them.
I mean, but see, here's what makes me smile about my people, despite because I can't center just me. I'm just one person, and I'm not going to let the whole diaspora, or especially the ones over here in the United States with me, suffer because of my little stuff. I was so happy I had to just give praises and give shout outs to my people with all this stuff going on these college campuses.
Oh my goodness. Yep. I
How
knew
many?
you were going there because I wanted to take it there, but yeah. Oh my goodness. Go ahead, Rojo. Go ahead.
How many of us do you see there? How many of us? I mean, hardly any. Maybe.
Hardly any.
On what?
See,
Sorry.
oh, go ahead. I'm sorry. Now go ahead. Take it away,
No, no,
Karen.
no. I was asking, no. I was asking, what did you say on where? About what, Rick?
So
Sorry, somebody said
so
something to me.
the U.S. college campuses here
Hmm.
that's protesting what's going on in Gaza,
Yeah.
Palestinian protest. Oh,
Mm.
it's ratcheted up. It ratcheted up a notch because you want to know why it ratcheted up a notch. They know where this is leading to. They know that this
Mhm.
is leading to directly to World War III, which I mean we're already in. But when they have U.S. troops on the ground, and it's going to be overt.
Yeah, I was gonna say with their mission patches on full
Yep,
display.
on full display when it's overt, when Congress, because we don't know what that bill was. Was that bill an authorization for military force? We don't know. Nobody's really read that, and if they read that, they're probably being told to keep it on the quiet due to what national security interest.
And those IAs are already police in certain cities
Hmm.
already. Like they were just talking about this yesterday, and now they're already no academy, no formal training, no qualification. They're just out there, can hardly say sir, without saying sir, son, your, you know, please abor, they're kind of speaking Spanglish, senor, sir, senor, please abor, and up there,
They listen. They may have their Spanglish and broken English, but you want to know what word they'll be able to say and pronunciate no problem? It's gonna be the N word.
N words.
it's going to be
Everywhere you go.
it's gonna be bigger. And on the keyboard, the B is right next to the E. I meant to type a B. I meant to type a B, not an E.
Oh my goodness.
Everybody knows that word, and everybody's got that word on lockdown.
They got
For
on lockdown. They don't need to know
question,
no type of English, just the N word.
but for
And
Roach
it's,
question,
speaking speaking
uh,
of Haiti, speaking of Haiti, and not the country, but that woman, the Speaker of the House, the press secretary, she ought to be a darn ashamed of herself. All this other stuff she's been talking, I've been listening to her.
this
Uh,
ain't nothing about IET.
nothing, not zero, not nothing.
The
And
Like,
that
Jean Baptiste. Oh my
Jean Baptiste.
yeah,
Big it up for Illinois. Boom, 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 boom. Jean Baptiste. But here's the thing. Man, yeah, IET. First of all, let's just change because you know how the US is. You know how we are. We are very satirical, right? Or they've taught us to be very satirical. The real name of IET, that's the name of the island, IET, because Haiti was a word sound to make us hate the little ones. You feel me? T means little. So you know what I'm saying? You know how IET, yeah, they don't want to talk about IET, but we have to flip that and word change IET. So
Or
these,
hate the little ones, meaning hate yourself as you are the little ones of the Most High.
yes, so I hate T. That's why they put the H in there, but it's IET. And that was but what Roger was saying, and here all the way in the West, I included, you know what I'm saying? Because when we look at IET, we have to look at Louisiana. Louisiana ain't nothing but, again, that's like Big Island, Little Island. A lot of the same kind of multicultural linguistic stuff has permeated in the United States as well. So we can't, like, the music, the culture. And so again, to go back to what Roger was saying, it's like the voice of the crying out of the wilderness, the here, the African diaspora in the West, whether it's in the main island, the United States, Haiti, through the Caribbean, through South America, that is the voice. However, African Americans are more influential around the world. Their music, the music, the culture, the hubris, if you can say, the nah, you know what I'm saying? Something really, the Most High has put something, and even coming to the United States, if you're not from it, being a first generation or second generation, you kind of get caught up in it. Like, nah, I'm an American. You're, just me American. You know what I mean? You kind of get this like, so there's something about, and I think it's because of the multicultural mixing, the ethnic and all of the Hebrew tribes, the 12 tribes singing out to the world. That's why we can connect with everybody in Africa, the Middle East of Africa, Asia, and everybody wants to be black, but nobody wants to be black. You feel?
Everybody wants to be black until it's time to get that black treatment, and then all of a sudden they delineate real quick. They're
That back.
mixed. They're white Creole or whatever. Yeah, they're everything else. But
Oh gosh, I've been seeing all of that, the Creole and the Dominicans. That's like, okay, well, just stay over there. But when them reparations come and when it's time for us to go home, you stay there.
hey, the new word to call us is nog, like eggnog, but just nog, just a second. That's what they're calling us now. So I'm a roll with it. I like it. So I can say that now, even at work, and I get in trouble because they don't know what I'm talking about. Hey, cool it, nog. And I think because the algorithm hit, because YouTube wants to be over here. Yeah, I'll probably won't say that. But hey, did you hear that about with TikTok? That TikTok wants to buy YouTube.
TikTok wants to buy YouTube. Oh, Beck,
that would be hilarious.
That would be, wouldn't it?
Be hilarious.
But you know something, I wouldn't be surprised because these people, they love money too much.
Exactly.
They will be like, they'll gladly like, okay, fine, I'll take you can deal with whoever. I would be killing myself with laughter. Oh, America will be so, like the West in general, they'll be I think we'll be just laughing. Listen, China will just, oh my gosh, I can't even get the words out because I know YouTube is probably just, the algorithm's just waiting and watching and everything. But we all can see exactly playing out in our heads exactly what would be happening. If that was to happen, that would be amazing. That would be funny. And the fact that they need to keep information. The reason it's so amazing how they're doing all of this. It's all tied into, we need to go and do what we're doing, but it's like they can't even move. They can't move in peace and hide. They can't do it anymore because they do something. Somebody is saying, you look over there. They're doing something. No matter how many times they want to put their distractions like P Diddy and OJ Simpson and all of the rest of it, and they keep showing our faces. It's like, should we get into what what your people are doing? But it's like, yeah.
Sorry, go ahead.
No, go on.
Not gonna say that YouTube or somebody is on Karis's bumper because I've been unsubscribed from him like 4 times. Time I do it, and I hit.
Yeah, my channel is throttled. Oh, my channel is throttled.
Oh, they don't like you, Roger.
No, it's not just that. They don't like my channel. No.
Yeah, that's true. But they're watching Rojo a lot as well.
Because you're right. Over on TikTok, like 4 or 5 people that had me modded for their lives, they got their channel shut down, and they would make a new account and mod me, and then they had to take me off mod, so TikTok will leave them alone. I don't know what's going on, but like you're partially right about that, Chantel. But I think there's something going on with Karis's channel. I think people are like blast reporting his channel because
Roger, are you still cussing out the Gentiles on
Well,
TikTok?
I am
You calm down.
no. I'm G-rated on here. When I go over there to TikTok, I go 50 R-rated.
I'm just saying, maybe they're following you. Remember, they're trying to sync up everything, everybody's accounts and that. So maybe you've got some people who are watching you over there and trying to follow you everywhere else. So
Yeah,
you know.
I've got a since they are watching us, I got a good title for it. It's YT TikTok or TikTok YT. It's got the most high saying time's up, ding ding, like a Jeopardy. You know what I'm saying? So they could just call it YT TikTok or TikTok YT, and that's the warning. And at the end of the day, our Father is laughing.
No, I'm gonna tell you.
Let me show you what
Brother.
M. Gill's saying. M. Gill says this. He said, since Google, aka Central Intelligence, owns YT, they will never sell it to a censor-free platform like TikTok. That's why Biden is trying to force. And that is true. If you didn't know, anything that you do here in the United States, if it's not US based, they don't try to promote it. The reason that you had TikTok really being promoted, it was actually outside of their algorithmic control. TikTok should not have been as popular, but TikTok was functional, and that functionality made it popular, and that was outside of the control of the federal government. That's why they've always been mad about that.
Yeah, but what was TikTok before, though?
Anything you post on Facebook, anything you put here on these channels on YouTube is always going to be monitored and dissected by the federal government. That's why there's some things I'm very, very careful to say and not say. You got to understand who it is that is in control. Now, can we maneuver around it? Yes, absolutely, we can. We can be witty in terms of how we express ourselves. I mean, shoot, we did it during slavery, so it ain't that hard right now. If our ancestors could do it, we're doing the exact same thing. They just don't want to let you know we're doing the exact same thing as our ancestors. But let me get Jaden, and I'll come to
targeted youth too. Let's not forget that they targeted and started with the young generation, knowing get them young.
And yeah, they did. Jaden, what's going on?
Shalom, brother Karis. Shalom, panel. I'm at
Shalom to you, brother Jaden.
Hi, sister Chantel. Rojo, I've been missing you, Rojo. I'm glad you're back again.
Yeah.
Thanks, bro. It's just like I said. It's just been a whole row of things going on, and I'm gonna try to at least kick it with y'all 3 or 4 times a week. I'm gonna try. I won't make no promises though.
Yeah, the days are dark without you, Roger.
Well, yeah, I was just I'm at the I'm on the plantation right now, so I won't be here too long. I just wanted to come in and say hi and just kind of go along with what everybody else is talking about. There's just like all kinds of things like still popping off. Like if you notice, like the way the news is constantly. Well, I don't want to get off topic, whatever the topic was, but it's just like all this stuff in relation to like that Eastern Mediterranean nation. You see all these news reports like on CNN about the protests on college campuses. It's like it's not just in Columbia University, but it's like going to like USC right now, and it's the way
Texas,
they cover it.
University of Texas too,
right?
Austin.
Right.
Yeah.
And the way they cover it, it's like you can tell they trying to drum up something because they always have like the little picture in picture of the stuff going on. Like while they reporting on like main news, they always have like a little breaking news thing on the side talking about the protests going on. And it's like it's the same way they were covering like all the Ferguson stuff with Mike Brown and the whole cookie situation with racking up the people who've succumbed to that.
Yes,
It's
yes.
like they doing the same kind of campaign with these protests, and it's all tied to the the ashy nasties, what I call them.
The ashy nasty.
Oh, I do like that. I like that a lot.
So, but it's like you can see the campaign they got going, and I think like this going into the summer, it's going to be real interesting because a lot of these college students they spending, even though they in semester right now, they spending time like going out on the field and with their signs and everything. After school is out, they're going to be even more so like doing the same thing, and it's gonna sweep. I think it's gonna sweep the country.
Yes, it is. I mean, look, you ain't got no jobs. You ain't got no real jobs on out there. So I mean,
exactly.
What are you really gonna do, man? All right. Well, I'm sitting here at Burger King, man. Let me go ahead and do something.
Right. And then also like, see, that's going on in the States over here. I noticed like when it comes to, again, kind of where Sister Chantel be at least here, we don't hear any like reports in the States about what's going on with the British royals. Like that whole thing with, Princess Kate and her situation, like that they've gone radio silent, at least over here in our media. It may be different over in the UK, but like, I just find that strange.
Not
like,
really.
Always talking about
Same
them.
thing.
They always talking about them like all the time, but now like nothing. Like what's going on?
Yeah, they got the big. They got that C work. They got that C work right after. Everybody, take your lollipop and make the world a safer place. It will be a safer place. They just didn't know the dynamics of how that safety was going to be.
We'll be safe from them.
That was a self-deletion campaign. I told you.
Straight
that
up.
was a self-deletion campaign, and they self-deleted themselves.
Self-deleted themselves. I like that.
No, he got a point because Sister Chantel, I know you're from there, and what you don't know about their really macabre dark past is that those royals had a thing that preceded them called the Bog people, and what they would do, and you could go to museums probably out there and find them preserved. What they would do is go out there to the bog and lay down in the bog and let the pressure, sink them in and, twist their bodies all up and everything. And they did that so they can, whatever deity they prayed to or worship, they did that so that deity would assure them another 1,000 years of rulership.
Oh, there's a lot of things that these people were doing that they do not want to put out into the domain. A lot of things, a lot of things that even Diana herself was talking about and her friend mentioned. And oh my gosh, she basically said, I don't think these people are human. She basically said it. She said it herself. These people are not human. The things that they do and have done,
So that gets us to a very interesting topic.
I knew we was getting here.
With the reptilian faces, the dark faces, the demon faces going on out there. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. That still had me on one with Yacoba. That still had me on one. I'm looking, I'm like, Father, I said, how am I going to react if I see one of those out in public?
Have you seen one?
No, I'm saying, Father, how will I react? Will I just keep, going about my day? If I see one of them when I'm checking out some food and they're touching
Whistle
my
and walk backwards. Whistle and walk backwards.
That reminds me of like if you've seen that movie The Devil's Advocate with Keanu Reeves, like Charlize Theron's character, she was like seeing demon faces in people. Like I think, see, the movies, they be like doing that predictive programming, they trying to clue you in as to what's to come sometimes. And I think that's like what's gonna be that's gonna be happening to a lot of people. They're gonna be seeing demons just like that in that movie.
Bro, not sometimes, all the time. Everything they do.
Let me tell you what I witnessed my own eyes in my lifetime. When I witnessed it with my own eyes and made me, my daughter, my mother, my sister fall right now, if I'm lying, I have witnessed with my own eyes women with tails. I have seen on medical videos where they're doing surgeries, digit removals, 6-toed and 6-fingered people, babies and stuff like that.
Oh
being
yeah, that's nothing new.
that is nothing new. They call it primordial tales.
For them.
Yeah.
But you know what that's a sign of, though? Those are actually.
I just keep hearing Jungle Book. What's his name? King Louis song. No, I'm just kidding.
No. Those are actually Nephilim.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
the characteristics of a Nephilim, mainly besides the size, because not all of them are giants, but they have
Thank you.
they have several rows of teeth and they have tails. That is.
Ninja with the
So
stranger danger.
So these are the real life mutants and X-Men that Stan Lee was talking about. How did you get that ringtone out of my head so quickly?
You said X-Men and that's all I went to. I'm old school, man. I used to watch that constantly.
Do you know what movie? On a serious note, had a similar jingle to the X-Men's that the ending part of The Sixth Sense when Bruce Willis saw that he was dead. It had almost that same beat, but kind of dipping down into a more somber, melancholy.
I have to go back and listen to that. I have to go back and listen. There's a lot of songs, a lot of theatrical songs that they like, on soundtracks. You'll hear a lot of things that sound. You'll be like, okay, I've heard that in another film, or that piece from another film. I'm telling you, they just all they do is they resample it and just tweak it a little bit. That's it. But yeah.
I've been watching some British movies about bad actors. When I say actor, I mean bad characters over there throughout history. Let me tell you, I thought the United States was bad, Chantel. Sister, you, them folks, them Mayos, them chalks out there, those are some very, very, very nefarious people. I mean, I knew about Jack the Ripper and stuff like that, and a few other people, but wow, the people out there, they heavily rival the United States. Chalkies. It's just that.
Roger, you don't even know about.
Do you know about Fred West?
France and Germany. You don't even know about the what is it? The Scandinavian nations.
Y'all don't even know about the Donner's Passage. Stop playing.
We don't know the extent of it because it's crazy. It's crazy out there. We used to think how disturbing cannibalism was. And truthfully speaking, that's what they practiced.
Mm-hmm.
They practiced that. They'll let you know that's what
they're still doing it.
And they're still doing it just behind the scenes.
And I'm saying the Donner's Passage, Bohemian Grove, people don't know the depths of that in Northern California.
Yeah, you're out there in the thick of it. That's just the new being mean. You're out there in the thick.
It's over here somewhere.
Is that you just have to you just have to go into stores with ropes on your kids so nobody gets snatched up.
I keep the weekend on. Where you at?
Terry said go to the store with ropes on your kids.
Oh, can I tell you something? No, let me tell you. Actually,
everybody looks like they're climbing the Himalaya.
Yo,
came too.
Can I say something? Let me say something. There's two things I have to say. I wanted to go on Jaden and this, how they're even stopping the valedictorian speaking. But I gotta say something about the cannibalism and
I need to say something directly after you, please.
And to keep my children and keeping our children close, because sure enough, we're at a festival, at an event, we were vending, And sure enough, my son, thank goodness you keep the children close. Like, yo, I need you here at the booth. Nah, you got 5 minutes. Come back, right? Like, nah, we were out in the deep woods. Anywho, long story short, he said he was talking, met a group of kids, group of them pasty, whatever we're gonna call them, and they were just trotting around, going to the festival, going booth after booth, and this one young one who was a little bit older than my son, maybe about 22, 23. My son was 17 at the time, started telling him that he has eaten human meat. So
What?
my son
Nope.
was like, okay, it's time for me to step up and step out of here. And because my son didn't want to ask the question like, well, where did you get it from? You know what I'm saying?
Nah, leave it, man.
Okay.
Leave it
Was there
alone.
a
Be
sale
ye
at the
separate.
morgue?
No. Here's the
Be
worst
ye
part.
separate.
Did the sale have a,
hear the
1
worst part.
pound, buy one,
Here.
get one free?
Here it is.
Oh,
Here it is.
That's
Here it is. The man was with his sister. Now the second part of the story, the brother that they told my son, oh, he called a friend over to have dinner and fed it to the friend without the friend knowing. The sister was right there. It was like my son was like, oh, you know what? I gotta get I gotta go.
what you should
Why
be
don't you join
alarmed
us for
of is
dinner
why are they?
sometime?
No. What
Come
you
on
need to be
over.
asking. What you need to be asking is why they telling your son this?
Oh, that's
Exactly.
what my son was
Because
like,
what do killers do? They never reveal their face unless they're going to do something.
oh
Yep.
yeah. And my son said, I'm out. I don't know. My son said he didn't want to ask no more questions. He didn't want to look shocked. He just looked like, oh, okay. Just kind of really laissez faire, like, oh, okay.
He should have really shook them too. He should have shook them like, that's okay. We eat
We
white
do that in
people
Haiti
for dinner all the
time.
time.
We do
No,
that in
I'm
Haiti
not saying that. No, forget that.
You're kind of yummy to me.
My-
I could probably season you up with some salt.
And that was my
Cayenne.
that was our question.
Barbecue sauce.
Look,
Why
you
he
look
tell
just
you
as
that?
crazy as they do. You eat crazy with crazy.
I
Yeah,
told
I would have been licking that lips like, turn around real quick.
no, we
Yeah,
give
that's a
thanks
nice
to
rump
the Most
roast.
High. You know
There
why?
ain't no rump to roast, okay? Let's not lie to these people anymore, okay? Just stop
Listen,
it. Stop
I
it.
give
The
They
meal
wouldn't
would
even
be
believe
real
you if you
thin.
said
The
that.
meal would be
I
real
give thanks
thin,
to
but
I give thanks to the Most High that He allowed the devil to reveal himself to my young son. Because I always told my son, do not be hanging them. Do not be hanging with them. Especially don't be the only one, or don't be the only one with a sold out brother. Or so. Don't be with them. Okay, just don't hang. Don't. So learn that real quick.
and now you're
I need to say something.
Go ahead, Chantel.
Okay, so I don't know if any of you guys have heard about the fire that happened in Copenhagen's stock exchange. Has anybody heard about that?
Yes.
Vaguely.
Yes. It was only on for like a day, but yeah, I saw that.
Okay, I'm wondering if you actually saw what I'm going to tell you, what you should have seen. So I don't know if you guys have seen The Brother, which did a brilliant documentary called Esau was it Esau and the Hittites? I think it was, where he was breaking down where these people come from. Okay, so if you Google, it's a little exercise. Everybody in the chat, go to your Google bar and just type in the Copenhagen Stock Exchange pictures, right? Pictures that they were trying to save from the fire. If you type that in, you'll see there's two men carrying this huge painting of two men, two Gentiles, quote unquote, carrying holding in the picture. There's these two Gentiles who are they have leaves around their waist, and they're sort of like holding on either side of a shield. Now, the reason why I'm pointing this out is that the brother brought out something very interesting. I've been kind of doing my research. So I typed in, you can go to your Google bar and also type in the wild men of Europe and the Moors. And when I looked at that, I was like, okay, that tapestry It's like they don't want to talk about that. They like to put a load of zeros behind certain things. This is why I said go back and listen to the Jungle Book song, because they always like to make out that it was us. They were mocking us. No, no. This is why I said that Ooga Booga sound. No, that ain't us. Remember, they like to project. This was them singing about I want to be like you. Who wants to be like whom? They want to be like us, right? Why I'm telling you this, yeah, is that when you look at that image, the picture that they were trying to save, right? It was the same kind of, that's right, Obadiah, covered in hair. It was the same kind of image where you had these two wild men who were holding a shield, right? The painting this was on the actual painting. They were on either side of a shield, and they would have um, painted out. I believe that the original painting probably had them covered in fur and hair, but they would have, when certain things, yes, troglodytes, but when they had as certain things started to progress and they started to shy away from certain things because the rest of the world was like, what's going on with your body, bro? Right? They probably went back and painted that out. But why the desire to save this picture, this painting? Because it has cultural significance. There are some things that they dare not get rid of, and that would be one of them. You would think that they would try to hide it, considering the fact that a lot of us a few years ago did not know anything about the wild men of Europe. But now that you actually the truth is starting to come out, and their DNA is starting to come out, and they're going back. I remember when Sister Gates Holder did the I can't remember what it was called, but it was talking about when I think it was talking about when they went into Spain, how they came from the mountains and they went across all of Europe. They took advantage of Europe when it was at a time of a plague that they were going through. Now, this would have happened before the medieval times. This would have happened before that, before the Dark Ages. This would have happened during the time of the Greeks and the Romans. I believe that this is when they started to lighten up and whiten up and make everything all hairy and stuff, right? But they went out and they deleted the men and they impregnated the women, and they made sure that their seed continued. All right. So when we was in Europe, right, some of them were living in the woods and would come in. They were covered in hair, they were covered in moss, they were covered in leaves. And it wasn't just the men, it was also the women as well. The women also had all the fur and the hair as well, and the only things that would be revealed would be their elbows, right, their kneecaps, and their mammary gland.
Yeah, give me a second. Okay. Thank you for all those that are coming back into the chat, because yeah, YouTube will come through and they'll wipe away people from the chat. They'll wipe away people from the live.
Mm.
The numbers literally, we're at 429 and it collapsed down to 4 or to 349, 346. Yeah, they'll literally wipe away people. This is what we're at. I told you censorship is real. Don't think that you're just sitting here on a platform and they don't want you hearing some things.
Mm-hmm.
The moment that Sister Chantel literally said, let me talk about what was going
The
on with
wild man.
Copenhagen and Denmark, that thing went down. So don't think that this channel is not heavily monitored. We are. Don't think that you're not heavily monitored. You are.
Mm.
You think that what they're trying to do to TikTok is just an aberration? No, it's not. It's not an anomaly. That's what and how it's controlled.
That's how they've always operated. Otherwise,
It's
everybody would know
always.
about the wild men of
Yeah.
Europe.
Yeah, they don't want, especially if there's Gentiles in the chat, they don't want Gentiles to understand this.
No, because
Yeah,
that's exactly then that would be the fulfillment of Jeremiah 16 verse 19.
19, yeah,
Yes, lies.
yeah. Behold, we've been told lies, right? That would be a clear indication of, hey, I need to repent for my ancestors because why? Because I'm doing the exact same thing, because I'm doing the same thing that's to the nature, and I didn't understand this nature.
And it reminded
I
me of
wanna hold on, let me finish because I ain't finished yet.
the story
Sorry.
of
I'm gonna
Cain.
try and be quick.
Yeah,
I'm gonna try and
remember
be quick.
the story of Cain, and he was
So
like Tubal Cain. Didn't he look like that? Hairy and had a mark. I'm not saying that was the mark, but who was his wives? But I'm gonna just drop it right there. But that was just bringing me to Sasquatch, Cain, and it's the story is Tubal Cain. Tubal Cain, his grandson killed him because he thought he was a
Well,
wild beast. Go
well,
ahead.
what did they say? Look, you had giants that was what on the earth in Noah's time, and giants on the earth afterwards.
because they were still doing the same thing. I mean,
They're
what do you think the
still
Greeks
doing
were
the
doing?
same thing, but they weren't doing it quite as much. Because why? Because there's a limit. They know the limit. That's why I tell you, when if they know the limit, guess what they also know? They know the time frame of when we go home. I can
Hmm.
guarantee you they know the exact time, date, and hour of when we go home and we go back to the land. The only time that they don't know is when Yahusha returns.
Yeah.
That's the only thing that they don't know. But they know when they're done for. And because they know when they're done for, guess what? They're going to try to ratchet up everything. Why do you think they're trying to ratchet up all of these self destructive behaviors? Hey, we need to promote this agenda. We need to promote that agenda. We need to have them do this and defile themselves with that. Because why? Because they know that they're getting ready to be up on out of here.
Hmm.
So that's their main goal. That's their main objective. How can we continue to keep the people defiled? We're going to lose the Yahudim. We're going to lose Judah. We're going to lose the Israelites. We're going to lose the land. But let's continue to try to throw some sort of spiritual tears up in there. So why? So we can get it back. Because why? If they continue to sin, then we can have an end.
It's like the curse of Balaam. Like we can't,
That's
put
it.
a curse
It's
on them, but we
exactly the
can make
curse
them
of
curse
Balaam.
themselves.
That's it.
Do you know
Because
the sin of the Nicolaitans? Do you know what that is?
go ahead.
The sin of the Nicolaitans was people who basically, and these were people that came in after. We know that obviously Paul went and he went to the Israelites who were Hellenized. And, many of the naturalized Gentiles, they came just as they do. They come and they listen, and some of them converted and but started to believe and follow in the way. But there was a sect that started to promote a belief that in order to bring about the new kingdom, we have to sin and sin and sin and sin.
Mhm.
You will recognize this because this is the same thing that the people in that Middle Eastern country did in, was it one of their our people, I don't want to say R and two B's, right, said, he basically said the same thing. He had the same doctrine that we need to sin and sin to bring about their Christ, their version of whatever.
Their
And this
Messiah.
happened, right, this happens round about their time when they did this. It happened in the 16, I think it was 1666, go figure. But the one in the Nicolaitans during that time, they did the same thing, and it was we need to do this, that, and the other. We need to sin. We need to bring as much sin and corruption. Or it was also the fact that you could it was the you could do this and still call yourself a quote unquote Christian or or a believer of the way. right? You can still do this and do that. It was the compromise. This was the sin of the Nicolaitans. It was the compromising. And it was also the fact that it became, that's why you'll find that both that and the stumbling block, the doctrine of Balaam, is in the same sentence, because in the same verse, basically. Because in order for the sin of, or the doctrine of Balaam to be a thing, you also have to cause the sin of the Nicolaitans, the compromising. Because when you compromise, or if you the sin of Balaam, if you decide to, when you go outside, the Most High said the stumbling block, which was what Balaam put before the people, was to bring the women from the Moabite women into the camps to pollute the men. That way they were started to sacrifice to their gods. They started to bring in all kinds of manner of wickedness, because they started to follow their belief system. And as a result, there was the compromise. Oh, I can do this. The Most High will forgive me while I do this. You take in, you first of all, you marry these people, then they bring you to their gods. They pollute you. They cause you to sin. That's why they're called the man of sin, them as a people. This is why it says they will be called the border of wickedness, because wickedness springs from them. So they would literally pull you in to doing what they need you to do, what they want you to do, to keep you in that sin state, as Brother Karras said. And then you compromise. That's what the sin of the Nicolaitans is. It's to compromise. It's to think you can walk on both sides, but you can't.
And may I add to that, Sister Chantel, with the Mashiach? Because remember, the Mashiach came right after the Maccabean period, the Maccabean revolt, and then people started to Hellenize, and they started becoming, into the system, and then Mashiach was born into this Roman occupation, and that was his critique. That was one of his main things against the Pharisaical bodies and the Sadducees. So we still have that order that's dealing in this world, that whole Pharisaical order that he turned against, and
I thought
logistics.
I thought the Maccabean revolt is what led into the Romans.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. There's a Maccabean Romans who married into Herod, and kind of like got all mixed up in the whole society.
Yeah, because the Maccabees was the one that brought them into. They forced a conversion. They should have left them alone. That was the Edomites. That's what they did.
Exactly, and
John
that's what Yeshua was even talking about. Everything you just said, with even dealing with the contemporary, the Nicolaitanians, it's that same spirit of compromise. It's that same spirit of profane, taking the holy and the common, mixing it up, and it's that same son of perdition.
Sorry, I wanted to point out, Matt Rick said it, Antipater Idumean, exactly, because you will find that these same people, I can't remember, I was reading a scripture and it literally says that these are the same people. Wherever we go, they have always followed us. They are there whenever there is trouble. They stir up, they turn brother against sister. They've turned us, the 12 tribes, against one another. They've turned the Chinese against the Indians. They've turned the Japanese against the Koreans. They've turned the Koreans against the Koreans. This is their nature. This is what they do.
I'm glad you brought that up.
So mean.
I want to bring up something on a smaller scale, just to be a witness to what you said, Sister Chantel. Okay, this past college basketball season, the whole story's been Caitlin Clark.
Yeah.
I say Carlton Clark, but that's me. But don't.
Oh, she looked like a dude. I'm sorry. She looked like a dude. I was like, is this a new trans? Is this a new trans person in that's what I thought. I really did. I'm sorry.
Do not do what Rojo do. I'll let Rojo get in trouble. Don't get thrown in the fire pit.
Oh boy. Here it is. Here comes the YouTube police. This is a great segue. Thank you, family, for helping support Covenant Awakenings. I appreciate it. Thank you for your help. I still need your help on that there because I did bring Rojo up on, and I'm gonna tell you, I'll probably be demonetized, and well, I'm already demonetized. I'll be shut down next week.
I do so love these
Shadow ban me even more.
these adverts.
Rojo came through swinging nothing but Skittles and cow tails. He came through with the full arsenal. We call Rojo the black militant Willy Wonka around here.
I demand
Karis, you need to like run that Dr. Umar video where he's going donations.
Hey, Jake, he always does it in threes. Donations.
Right. Brainwashing people.
Hey, you can tell he's a Frank Jones fan. but anyway, check this out. You know how they were saying all year, Caitlin Clark, the most watched person ever, blah this and greatest player ever.
They're lying.
No,
I'm surprised that they didn't give Dawn Staley, more credit than Caitlin Clark, and also the girls that were there on South Carolina. Is not an individual sport.
Karis, I'm gonna get on Dawn Staley's bumper in a minute, but check this out. With Caitlin Clark, we see the Black Street. When I say the Black Street, I mean all of us. We all have different talents. I fact check. A sister by the name of Pearl Monroe outscored Caitlin Clark all time by at least 73 points. Mm-hmm. And as far as the most viewed, she's turned more women to women's basketball. I have to call cap on that because back in 2013, 2014, Brittany Griner from Baylor was drawing more views because of her height and because of her ability to dunk the ball.
Yes. Yeah.
And then not only that, but back then, that was Brittany Griner by herself was also.
She's another one that looks like a dude.
Yeah.
I don't care. Come at me if you will, but it is what it is. I saw Adam's apple jumping around.
Like an infomercial. That's like a paid.
I think that is totally sexist.
Who is? Me is?
Do you know that there's guys that like that sort of thing? The manlier the woman, the.
Well, I'm sorry for them because she likes something else. If you can call her she.
Chantel, that is nutracistic. That is not my.
Adam's apple bounces harder than the ball that she's dribbling, man. I'm sorry.
It means I don't know what the heck it is, but you're being mean to something. So Chantel, stop being mean to something. Something's got.
No,
they were lying.
I will not. I will call it like I see it, and I don't know what it is, so I'm calling it like I see it.
It was like the one. It was like the one swimmer. It was the one swimmer that he wasn't a very good swimmer for as a
that thing. Oh my goody gumdrop! What is that?
And then he's like, all right, well, I'm a lady now.
No.
Check this out.
This dude was like breaking NCAA records because he was.
I got an update on that thing. That thing said that thing is going to retire because won't no women's team have him on his team. They won't accept him professionally. So I sent him a thing saying that there are plenty of men teams that'll take you. I got blocked and reported.
Of course he did.
Why don't they
I was just about to say that. Just do a T section and be done with it.
And it's done. They compete against each other, dude. Figure it out.
But it's the same reason why they don't want to do a T toilet or bathroom or whatever. They want to replace us. You can't replace us. Okay. What do
they call you all? What do they call you all? Human replacements, or what is it? Human generators,
birthing machines,
birthing machine, baby making machine.
The cheek of it.
Golly, you realize how disrespectful that is? Oh my goodness.
Get out of my face with your
no, they just
sausage and 2 potatoes.
you see that one dude that came on and he was a W up there crying on the internet about he got mad because he can't get a pap smear that all the doctor did was just looked up his cavity, but he wanted the full treatment with a scapula and all that kind of stuff. And then imagine that's if the doctor did concede and do that. Imagine that could be going up in one of y'all. I'm just saying. I'm not being nasty. I'm being scientific. I'm being medical. So
Sorry, can I just Team Truth, was you talking what story? What are you talking about? What was it I was saying? I say a lot of stuff. What was I saying? I don't know.
ooh, we Chantel.
Team Truth
All
said
of
something. What was the ending of my
you
story?
talking about she couldn't get, or he or they couldn't
Oh, yeah, it
a
could.
they couldn't get a pap smear because the hardware wasn't correct, and they were upset about that.
The,
And what Roger was saying is, imagine if the hardware did go in there, that would be the hardware or the medical device that would go into our whatever you want to call it. That's just what he was saying.
You've got no crevice there. What do you do? I don't understand. You've got no cave, bro.
hey,
Or
You're all jacked up. You're still a bro. You can't like.
Shro.
I
Chantel.
don't understand. These people are just like. I'm sorry, but
It's
it
Roman.
is
We
what it
gotta
is.
move on
Some
to another
It's Roman
subject because
antics gone awry. It's
we
Roman
gotta
antics gone awry.
we gotta tuck this subject away.
Chantel was getting lit.
I don't understand. I'm not. No, I'm genuinely confused. Why? How can you? It's bad enough you saying that you're something that we all know you're not. It's like we all have to agree and nod with people that are
Mad, absolutely mad, as you would say.
I want to be kind. No, I don't. You're just crazy.
Bloody mad. Well, is that what you guys say? That bloody mad over there in England? It's
Well,
just like
hey,
Oh
Roman
man,
antics.
these people are tapped in the head.
Chantel,
Batty boy. It's
I,
this.
I want to identify as good looking. Can I identify as good looking?
Only in your mind, if that's if you if you believe it. What do they say? Manifest destiny.
Mm.
That's how they got us here in California and everywhere else.
That's how they got themselves here to where we are now, because they manifested their
You,
true destiny. You were nothing more than the Most High's switch to beat us with. That's it.
Nubia, you
Now
better
they,
watch out there in California because they could lock you up if you say the wrong thing to one of them folks out there.
Yes, they will. Yes,
Oh
they
yeah,
will.
I just
This
keep it
is why
moving.
this
I don't get too
this
into
is
it.
why
just don't say
nothing
nothing to them. Don't look at them. Don't look at them in the eye. Don't give them eye
I
contact. Just ignore them. Walk on the other
do,
side of the street and just keep it moving. That's
so
what
I
I
just
do.
I
I'm gonna have to have a legal disclaimer.
do the
So please do not
I just
repeat
do
anything
the
you hear or say on this channel
half
if you live
half
in
head nod,
California.
half head nod. You know what I'm saying? Not the full head up. When you see the brothers and sisters, you do
Cheers is
the whole chin up and down. No, I just do the and the tight smile. You know that tight smile they give you, and do that half a nod or a third nod, like what's up? You know what I'm saying? Or just
Right.
a shake.
They're here heavy in Florida. They're here heavy in Florida, and I just have to look at them, and my kids just look at them and they just laugh. That's like, you laugh, but
They're
it's like,
worse in Texas. So
but
let's
no,
just
you understand.
no. They're bad in Florida. Miami,
Yeah.
to me, I call Miami San Francisco 2.0. You better not be groping on nothing down there. You don't know what you're getting into down
Yeah, you
there.
don't know what you're getting. Yeah, you know.
Well, at least yours might actually pass. You should see the ones over here. Oh, good Lord.
Right? Yeah. Yeah. It's horrible. I mean, it's horrible, but it's like you understand that society has literally corrupted them to the point that they want to destroy their nature, And I tell this to my kids. I'm like, look, you understand how bad it is that you don't want to be who the Most High literally made you to be. And that's the enemy showing, how you defile yourself, how you mutilate yourself. It's a mutilation thing.
It is.
Jada,
And you know,
Jada,
Karis,
What are you
what did you
supposed to
call
do?
it?
You're never
The
supposed to what?
pasty
Cut your
macy,
flesh like that. You
pasty
never.
what? He that right it. What did you call it? Pasty what? Macy. He had the name for it. Crusty pasty, pasty crusty, something.
Man, I'm gonna tell you.
Nasty ashes. The
Ashy
nasty
nasty.
ash.
Nasty
Ashy,
ashes.
no,
ashy
ashy
nasty.
nasties.
But
See,
like so the funny thing is people don't even understand what was going on, you know, in the 1920s, 1910s and 1920s, post World War I Germany. They'll never tell you that. That's the
Some of
history
them
that
were there as well.
they don't even want to
Tell
explain
us,
what was
tell
going
us
on.
today. School us, Karis, because I'm intrigued.
Well, look, that's going to be a story for another day, but I would say research that. Research what was happening in
and
that
it was
time
the
frame.
small hats that was doing it. It was the small hats that was doing it. That's all I'm gonna say.
Hmm.
If
Yeah, it was. Yes, it was.
because
Was
I
it
know
the
exactly.
Roaring Twenties? Are you talking about the Roaring
No,
20s?
no, no, no.
Oh, in
No,
Berlin
this,
and then Germany all around. And
Mm.
there,
yeah.
so you understand, you know, and we had just spoke about this earlier this week, especially when it came to um, what Lisa Cabrera had posted back this weekend with them folks. Actually, not them folks. It's basically worldwide except for in Africa.
Mm.
Hey, Karis, can you check see if
Population
my
decline.
You know what? There's a book.
no, no,
There,
hold on. This is
okay.
this.
I beg you no, let the man speak.
Karis, can you see if
Fire.
see if my Patreon is still good with you, bro? With Quest to Unite Africa.
So we are no longer doing Patreon. You can give to Quest Unite Africa through Give WP. Give WP, you have an opportunity to have subscriptions, and that helps us with the accounting. Look, there's only one person that's doing accounting, that's just the princess. So we're trying to do our best to not overwhelm her with all these other, you know, donation places. So yes, so that is what we just deleted as of the 15th.
Okay.
Yeah.
Karis, finish your story, please.
Yeah. So, but before I finish my story, you could please thank you all for the help, family. I appreciate the support. If you would like to support this channel before Rojo cuts it off, and so with Sister Chantel with crevices,
Crevices and caves, or,
crevices, and
or lack
please,
thereof.
Man,
please, family.
I love it, Sister Chantel. She got fire. She
I
got fire. She got
appreciate you
Naya
all's
Binky on it.
donation. I appreciate you all's donation. Thank you for those that have given. I definitely appreciate your donation. I appreciate your support. So going back to this, you have to understand those policies were not very effective. And what was going on was that people that would have those policies of euthanization, of other types of detrimental issues towards creationisms, right? Being able um, to reproduce. That reproduction was also being felt in Germany. There was population collapse.
Hmm.
And that population collapse was just in Germany. People weren't liking it with those alternative lifestyles and things of that nature. And it was pushed because why? Because it's the same thing that happened then as it is today. You can get mad, you can get, do whatever. I don't care what you want to call me. It doesn't matter. But look at the history.
It's what they're trying to do to Africa, what they're
Hmm.
dying to get done to Africa.
Yeah, that's the history. because what they wanted to do, look, let's reduce this population and reduce the world's population. The problem is that they've been practicing what they've been preaching, and no, they didn't understand what Balaam was saying, that you can't practice what you preach. You have to have the hypocrisy, and they've swallowed their own poison.
Yeah, but a
Literally.
reprobate is going to do what reprobates do.
They swallowed their own poison.
Got high on their own supply.
Do you know how
So
many? Oh, go
so
ahead.
now you have these countries that are literally saying, hey, back in World War II, when we actually had a lifestyle to where, yeah, we would have a little bit of that alternative stuff going on, but it wasn't so rampant that it was causing a population decrease, because they all understood that in the end, one or two, okay, they could get away with. But when you're trying to do that to the whole population, guess what happens? You don't reproduce and your population will collapse, because then when everybody starts dying in basically 30, 40 years, you don't have anybody to help you. That's why they're trying to do AI. This is that push for AI. Why the sudden push for AI? Because they need to start building machines, because they're not going to have any type of people. Plain and simple. Why do they want to upload people's brains? Why are they trying to do these brain chips and try to scan people and, try to get an algorithm of
And why
knowledge?
do they keep? And not only that, notice they keep putting our faces on this stuff. They want us at the forefront. Two reasons. One, because again, to get us to curse ourselves. It's the doctrine of Balaam, right? And the second reason is because Judah is like, well, Israel in general, but Judah being the scepter, everyone follows Yasharel. We are the salt of the earth. That's why they all follow. It was a head thumper when I was younger. I used to why if the whole world hates us, why do they follow everything that we do? Why do they copy us? Why do you copy us and then and take what we have and try and make out like you created it? Never
That's
understood that
well,
until you know who we are.
yeah, but they understand that that's what's been the selling point. Oh, well, you really didn't do it. We did it. Why? Because if you have a miseducated, dumbed down people, you can tell them as many lies as you want. The problem is I told you, we are a problem. Our community is a problem. Because why? Because we tell the truth. And because they know that we're so influential, people are they're gonna get mad, they're gonna get agitated, and then they're going to what? Look up the truth, and then they're gonna get mad because the truth that we said is there. And so now they have a problem because they've been lied to, and they're not gonna necessarily come after us. They come after their own people.
Yep.
So
We
Mom,
just need to step
Dad, you
back and leave it.
lied. You know how
Yep.
many folks that how many of
Do,
these people have, off their parents?
do you remember
Yeah, go ahead. Oh,
do you
they just
remember
had the
the
thing the last year where the one man had decapitated his dad and showed
oh
his
gosh, yeah.
head
YouTube,
on
yeah.
YouTube.
And before you go, Chantel, I'm be really quick. I just want to add to Karis's point. And Karis, speaking of that community that we dare not mention, I'm talking about the one across the sky community. Some of those, I mean, not just that because it's non-procreative, but even with the hetero, you have men doing GS to their women, and you know what GS is? Greek,
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
So uh,
those. Yeah, other types of behaviors that doesn't produce things.
Which
it's,
is interesting that you said that, Rojo. That goes into, because when KRS was speaking, I was thinking about that book by Jerzy Kosinski, The Painted Bird. If you read that book, you find out how those in the Eastern Bloc, the Ish people, no wonder the woman said, the Black Hebrews are a danger to us, or something in that vein, right? Um, because listen, if you see, I know y'all like to watch movies. I think they have it somewhere buried in Netflix, the painted bird. But when you see the visual, you understand why that young man was being tormented, because he was the blackest. If you say black, he looked Latino. If you ask me, but the Middle East Latino, that's the same thing. Latino. But you can understand, like, even that, and trying to erase that, and his Sephardic,
Thank
aka
you, Nubian,
African.
for that. Thank you, Nubian, for that, because I've been saying that for the past 5 years. What you just said about the I mean, those phenotypes. I've been saying that for 5 years. People are thinking I'm crazy. Thank you. You're a witness. Thank you.
Yes, I tell Mexican people, don't get switched up, and somebody take you to the middle far East Africa, and they're gonna slap a hijab on your face and be like, I don't know what Espanol. You better start speaking Arabic real quick,
Thank you for
Our
that.
Keith Swahili. Our Keith Swahili.
Carrots, you a mess. You a mess. Chantel, go ahead and get off, sister. We don't want to vex you. But
I'm not vexed. I'm just listening.
I just want to thank Sister Nubian for saying that, because I've been saying that for years and people thought I was plumb damn crazy. And thank you. I feel vindicated. I feel better. Thank you.
It's just the truth. They just wasn't seeing it, but that's just they got the accent. They just got mixed up with the accent. But
No, I call Latinos. I call Latinos West. Ottomanians of the West Side. So I always like would troll them with the West Side and throw up the W. But that's all they are. Them and Ottomans are the same people.
But
I've been
let's be real.
yeah.
And Rojo, as you're saying that, let's be real. Let's not forget the Afro P people, Afro Palestinian people. That's all they're doing right now is just finishing up the job with the mulattoes of the far East Africa. That's what's happening, because they already disseminated. There's still Afro Palestinians there, but if you look at pictures like you're saying in the 1900s, those are different people. Them people were so dark, dark. You look like your cousin in the South. And then what happened? And things that's happening. It's just what it is.
I think those people are more directly to you, related to you and Sister Chantel. I mean, we're all family. Don't get me wrong, but I'm just talking about as far as the northern and the southern kingdom. Unless
The funny thing.
You do know that
funny
the
thing
north.
is-
Hold on. What do
Yeah,
you
go
mean
ahead.
by the northern and southern kingdom, Roger?
huh?
It's kind of right, because a lot of from the Caribbean, a lot of people from Jordan, Palestine, um, um, those areas, those Sister Chantel, a lot of those people, Israel, Palestine, they went to the Caribbean. That's why they have the stores and all that. A lot of those people from the Levant, the Levantines, are very impactful and very still running things in the islands.
I mean, I could be wrong, Sister Chantel, but I always thought that some from like the Eastern Caribbean on over were more or less Israel themselves, the Northern Kingdom, and those.
No, they're all.
No, that's not.
Everybody.
That's either
Everybody.
Judah, Benjamin, or Levi.
That's
Look.
out to Judah.
We need to follow what the scripture says.
Yeah,
The scripture says that Judah was going to be scattered to the four corners of the earth. If you like, I can't even stress to you guys, like, you need to understand your slave owners are not going to put you into little groups and say, will the tribe of Levi go over here? Will the tribe of Judah go over there? Will the tribe of Benjamin please go over there? Assemble yourself neatly. Quiet. Thank you. They're not going to do that. They're going to throw you together. Listen, let me put it so that you guys understand. Everyone needs to understand, right? Because this is it's so stupid, right? I'm not saying that you're stupid. I'm just saying this. It's really silly, because we need to understand correctly how these people think. Let me ask you a question. Did they care when they forced your father upon his daughter? Did they care?
No.
No. Why? Because they don't care. They don't care. Right? They took us. They knew who they were taking. They knew that we was the Southern Kingdom, point period blank. They knew, they understood, they didn't lose track of us. We lost track of who we were because they kept it that way. They removed us from our memory. That's what I've been saying. Our elders, they took us away from our elders. That's why a lot of the people that they first initially started to put into captivity were young children, right? They took us from our memory, right? And then we only had a certain semblance of a few things that we remembered when we were children of certain things of our culture. That's why a lot of the things that we do, it's very similar. It's kind of mixed up and everything, but we can trace back those origins and those roots back to the motherland, right? Nowhere else, right back to the motherland. But they didn't, the same way they didn't show any separation between, oh, you can't mix that with that. You know, you can't let that's terrible. Why would you force a father to do with his daughter or a mother with her son? We know that they did that because they wanted to, we think that they were looking to breed the perfect slave. No, they weren't. Let me say this to you. If you want to know who the people are, you just need to look at what they did to us. The way they made us do, they put shame upon us, even down to the food we ate. Everything that the Most High told us don't do, they made us do. I'm telling you, they made us do. Why do you think the scripture says man of sin? It's talking about man as in the man, the patriarchy of this nation, Esau, Edomites, the mixture of Edomites with the Gentiles. These people, these Europeans, what they did to us, they are the man of sin. Now, having said all of that, do you really seriously think that they would have separated us and kept us in our different groups? Because this is the same kind of understanding that the camps have. And I'm like, what are you talking about? What are you talking about? How can they, why would you, and not only that, scatter to the four corners of the earth, but yet still all of Israel is like, Judah is America, Jamaicans are the tribe of Benjamin. Then you've got some other people that in the Caribbean is something else. Then you've got Issachar is some of the Hispanics or whatever. It's like, so what happened to the rest? What happened to our brothers and sisters, those of us that are in India? What happened to them? What happened to the rest that are in the Pacific Islands? What happened to them? When it says scatter to the four corners of the earth, either you believe the word or you're playing games, man. He said what he said. Let's not pollute things by putting in other people's understanding, which is very, very dangerous. The Most High said what he said. If we start believing that, then we're going to start doing what the camps do and start believing that, oh, those people are our people. And notice now that they've started to do that, guess what we're seeing? Now we're seeing, I saw videos where Mexicans would just say, yeah, we're the people of the book. No. They weren't talking about Israelites, black people, us, Negroes. Oh, no, they said they are straight up. Nothing else. What we're doing, hold on, I just want to say this. What we're doing is we are making a way. How are we going to be any different from those people who say, oh, you've got the Chinese, there's Chinese people who are our people. We got people in Mexico. Why? What if these people in the Middle Eastern place are calling on Mexicans to come back to the land, come back, you're also Israelites, right? Whatever. If they're calling them, then how are they our people? That's what I'm saying. No, Judah was scattered to the four corners of the earth. Judah.
And I'm gonna interject and say you are absolutely right, especially with the first wave of slavery. Remember, there was various slaves. It was from the 1500 early 1500s up to 1800s. So that's still 300 years. There are different waves and phases. You are absolutely correct in terms of the base. Even in Mexico and Latin America, South America, so many African cargo came, but then they got, we know that they kind of got mixed into the mix up, but a lot of them are of the same of have the Nigerian or the African, the Igbo, the Judah, the I am talking more of I am talking in like a second wave. I'm talking the second
Yeah,
wave
yeah,
of
that's
I'm not
so.
talking about the first wave. I'm talking about the second wave, 1700s,
Mhm.
1800s, where it was became international, and even like how Indians were forced into indentured slavery in Trinidad and all this mix up. How
Yeah, but that's
that's what I'm talking about.
Indians,
because
right?
because
That's not talking
That's
about us, though, is it?
that's how I'm
it
saying the
shows that Israel still
Leviticus,
remembers their heritage.
that
Judah
was
don't.
that's
So,
Leviticus.
Chantel, thank you for the reproof. I don't mind
I
being
know I'm not thinking at you. I'm not thinking at you because this is we have to deconstruct some of the
Well, we have
craziness
to, but
that's gone on.
so then let's understand this, right? We understand that at 1619 things really started. Things started because
Happening.
why? What was 1619? What did that really portend? That portend. You got to remember when we had left. We were scattered. The Inquisition. Shout out to Brother Dante that's been bringing this on out, and also Teo's been bringing this on out. Brother Yacoba and Brother Teo will let you know this too. We were dug in deep, right? If you have the resources, guess what you can go? You can go farther away from things, right? You can do things on your own, correct? You can get away from the people and be more of it, self-reliant. And then also you become a little bit more snobbish because you have a little bit more resources and things of that nature. So, what ended up happening? People were getting conquered. And the ones that were getting conquered, they were still of the house of Judah, but they weren't of that royal lineage.
Mm.
Even Dante would bring that on out. He had with the thumbnails of the white people in chains. There are folks that knew who they were. Now, now eventually they were enslaved. But what ended up happening was that a lot of the house of Judah, a lot of what was going on was that they were populating the Caribbean, and then the royal house was the ones that began to then get afflicted, and they started to have wars, and then they were eventually had entered the transatlantic slave trade. And that was a majority of what in the United States in 1619 came through with how we get these reference sources for dates. And there's validity to that because look at what's happened after that 400 years. Look at how this place has been judged. We know who we are. We understand who we are. It wasn't a finality of, oh, well, it first started at the slave trade. That should have been 400 years. No, no. They knew who they took. They knew exactly who they took. Them 20
Mm.
some odd in cargo, they knew who they're fighting over with the Dutch and the English. They knew exactly who they wanted. And that happened to be us. They knew exactly who they were breeding in those breeding grounds of Richmond, of Southeast Virginia,
Mm-hmm.
that then became and fanned out because why? Because we were the best stock. Oh, I want my Negro to breed with that. That's good Virginia stock.
Makes me
Remember,
sick.
they named them Hebo in the
Ebo, yeah.
advertisements.
Hmm.
Hebo. They didn't say Ebo. They can't even say Hebo.
No,
They was like,
they knew. This is why they don't want you to find all of their articles of history that they have stored up in their trunks
Too late.
in their homes. They knew, oh yeah, we got some good ones on over there. And that's what they were targeting. Why do you think those places in Accra and Ghana, in Nigeria, those places that knew who we are, why do you think they speak English? The French, they were just trying to take whatever they can. But the English were like, nah, we're gonna do this right. We're gonna get the stock. Because why? Because they knew. They understood. People don't even understand that there was a real alliance between the Portuguese and the English.
Yes, there
People
were.
don't even understand that there was a real alliance between all three of them, including the French, with their slave trade endeavors. Because why? Because Europe didn't have to really go to war that much with itself because they had a common foe, which was us. That was the Inquisition. Then when we left, then Europe went to crap. Because why? Because
The
everything had
blessing,
been subdued.
those, yeah, those that were the builders, those were that was a blessing. We were removed. They thought that they would take, so they put us in captivity, and they thought to take our place. They thought that they could take everything and that they could assert themselves as the people, whether through Christianity or through that other thing, right? And that's why it's so funny. That's why I say to people, not long after that, we and I say not long after that because we look at it with our eyes in terms of, oh well, that happened several, like what, 200 years later or whatever, you know, the earthquake of Lisbon. But you're thinking in terms of our time scale or how time moves down here. This is moments for the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
So when what happened after they did the Spanish Inquisition and they removed us and they did all the foul things that they did to us, this is why I said, did they really think that the Most High, look, he said, you're going to do what you're going to do, but I'm not going to you're not going to go altogether unpunished. I know that's for Israel, but for them, they weren't going to go altogether unpunished. This punishment has been going on. We think that this is something that is just, oh, their judgment started now. No, let me tell you, their judgment started from the time they took us, from the fall of Jerusalem. That was when everything kicked off. That was when Jacob's trouble started, and that was when their judgment started. There is several parts to a judgment. You have the investigation part, and you have you have the proceedings, and you also have where you have the actual punishment. Their judgment began with the investigation. The Most High was watching them. Remember, they took the solemnity of Jerusalem and put it into Rome. That was the what was it called? The, oh my gosh, how can I not remember it? When they started to change the Sabbath and the this, that, and the other. What was it called? The something council. The council of what? What's it called?
Nicaea.
That's it. The Council of Nicaea, right? They, every time they did something to alter what the Most has written and what they did to us, they sealed their fate. It was them literally progressing to their own judgment, to their own punishment. Now we're here. Now they're literally, it's shots firing. This is warning shots. As soon as look, listen, I showed you the horse. The horse, all these things are signs. They're signs. We saw the sun turn dark, right? That's a sign for us to let us know it's happening soon. Then now we're seeing two horses racing through Fleet Street, not the tee off Fleet Street, because it's time for Yasharel to flee soon, right? Who are we seeing? What we seeing? We're seeing the black horse riding first, running first, right? The black horse running first. Then we see the white horse after it. Now I could have said, "Oh, this is talking about the horses of the apocalypse, the four horses of the apocalypse." But if that was the case, the white one would be first. The white one should have gone first. But we're seeing the white horse after the black horse, and we're seeing blood up to the horse's bridle. This is talking about the war that's about to come upon them. This ain't talking about just the horsemen of the apocalypse. Yes, that's part of it, but it's very telling. Look, the same way when they do animation, everything is deliberately done. Everything is deliberately done. The Most High orchestrated that. Somehow this horse ran first, that one second, and there's blood down it coming up to the horse's bridle. Come on, man. Some people might say, oh, well, that's a coincidence. I don't believe in coincidence in this day and age. Are you crazy? No, there's no coincidence. That's the Most High telling us it's about to go down. Something's coming. Something's coming. Now, it could be that the blood is still warm on their hands as they're doing what they're doing in that Middle Eastern country, and they're going to start coming after us. Or it could be literally, as we're leaving, they're come, let us take us with you, as so many of them covered in blood. Blood be upon them. What does it say? Because you love so much, blood will follow you. Right?
I ain't letting them touch me with bloody hands. They can cleave to something else. They ain't getting my clothes all dirty.
Listen, Baba loves Jesus. It doesn't matter whether it was blood. We're all about the symbolism here. It doesn't matter whether it was real physical blood. It was red. When we see it, we know. That's the thing. Some people say, well, you know, that's not really the sun, and it wasn't really the eclipse or whatever, this, that, and the other. It don't matter. We know what these signs. We know what these signs are saying to us. That's what we're understanding. They may look. They may do things to cause fear, but when we see things, we know what this is. And at the end of the day, the Most High said, "I've seen the end from the beginning. I knew what was going to happen. I knew that they were going to do this." The Most High is allowing these people. Look, if we understand that the Most High is allowing them, as he said, to come down to the valley of Jehoshaphat, we're seeing these people are literally at war with each other. If the Most High is orchestrating it, you don't think that the Most High is orchestrating that as well? Come on now, man. Let's not play.
Preach.
But one thing I will agree with you on, sis, 100%, is that all 12 tribes are definitely black. They're not the West Side Ottomanians. They're not
100.
I mean, you know, they're definitely not W. They're not spiritual. They are all us.
It's like what Brother T said, it's a cake not turned. I'm sorry, but anybody that cooks knows if you don't turn that cake over, what happens to that cake? What happens to the pancake? It burns. So what are you saying? It's black. Even with your so-called logic, your logic, oh my gosh, your logic betrays you.
But I think they're talking about the city of Samaria, because when they said raise it, I think, well, that was the temple. Or was it the Samaria where they burned it from the base, and that, you know, the underbelly of that city, like, and that's what the Northern Kingdom, you know, resided. Like, it was like hot and burning on fire for 200 years. Well, kind of like what they have here, where you just have that sitting heat. So that's what I think it meant. Now, I could be wrong. I'm not trying to interpret it, but I mean, cake unturned is not going through the color rainbow. I don't subscribe to that. Never. How you gonna?
They want to say it's that pancake where the top part, it never got turned over, but the bottom is black.
No. Taylor Swift.
No, that's what they probably believe.
Okay, so they believe Taylor Swift and Eminem are Israelites. Hell no.
Exactly. That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying.
No. I mean, like,
if it's a cake not turned, and it's and we're, you know, and if it's
the British,
it's not gonna.
Isn't that British Israelite-ish thing? Crap.
British Israelism or whatever they want to call it.
Like Zionism and Christian dispensationalism, they're all the same.
Now, I don't know when I made the decision. For me personally, it was, I guess, one of Karis's first lives when he like opened up the StreamYard and we could talk. I don't know if it's him or Yakoba. I don't know, but I remember Terrence was there on a panel, or he was hosting it, where I said I would never let anyone that's not of Judah or Israel assume a leadership position of me. You know, try to advise me on things that I must do, how I should walk, how I should carry myself. The only person that's not of that nation that could tell me something is my boss on the job, because we're still in that part of our curse where we will serve, you know, our enemies in hunger and in thirst and in nakedness and in want of all things. But anyway, with that being said, I'm on my Passover. I know I started late, so maybe it's my change of diet, me not consuming any alcohol, and I never did consume it to drunkenness. So I'm kind of loopy, and you know, I'm not as sharp as I typically am. But if for those who are celebrating the Passover with me, happy Passover. I know it's late. Happy late Passover, but I'm there.
Shucks, Samayak. Yes. You know what? You know what, Rojo? You sound pretty chill. And you know, the great thing about the Passover is like you're not supposed to be eating anything with fermented or the yeast. So, you know, sometimes the yeast make us giddy. You know, that's why we have to have the grape, the wine. Sometimes grape juice is makes me pretty bubbly too. So it's good. You're more sharp now. If you ask me, I think the panel will agree. You're actually pretty like chill. So the yeast and I had to take away the bread. So, we on flat bread right now. And that's kind of helping out a lot too. That's really helping out. The yeast not even in the house, but the yeast in our heart, in our minds. That's what I've been realizing. So happy Passover. And I think it's Melkom Fasika in Amharic. Melkom Fasika to you, brethren. And Samayak Pashak to you, and blessed Passover as well.
And I'm also staying away from the comment. You know, I'm not even eating grains right now. I mean, I don't know if I can.
Grain, I think grain is not hametz. I don't think grain's hametz. I think it's just yeast. I think it's just bread and yeast and beer. But Jaden may know.
Hmm.
You know, I'm not sure with the technical, because we're not going to really get all that until we're back in the land. Truthfully speaking, you want to know how?
Get some injera. Get
You
some
know,
injera.
you want to know how they find out about how to celebrate Passover? They go down to sub-Saharan Africa, and that's how they find out.
See, Karis, that's what I'm talking about. Like people like Sister Nubia me, I have to probably believe her more than I trust myself. Only because
Hey, the Limba's got
her
it.
and Chantel are closer to. I don't know. I just have to, because I want to do my Passover right. I mean, you know.
Well, the Passover is a memorial, right? It's do it in memoriam, right? But the Passover lamb is Yahushua HaMashiach. We're in captivity. You're not going to do the Passover right. You're not. That's just how it goes.
No, corn tortillas. It's where you're at, and you got to do with what you got. So you can do corn tortillas, or if you're really lucky and you buy a Ethiopian joint, get yourself some injera. Okay, that is the closest thing you can get. Injera is the bomb. If anybody know what I'm talking about, you know it.
Guess what I'm doing? I'm eating matzah.
Saba.
I'm eating matzah with crunchy peanut butter.
Hey, you know something? It's interesting. Like we talk about, wrestling over when the Passover hits, but it's so, it's amazing how like the Most High already has like the remedy for the whole world to know when it happens, and I believe he's gonna use that second Exodus whenever it comes. Because you look at that passage in Jeremiah, I think it's like Jeremiah 31 verse 8, and it was like shout out to Gates of Holder because she brought this out like a while back. How like the regular translations talk about where the Lord's coming back, gather the people the second time, but she pointed to the Septuagint and talks about there how he's going to gather them the second time at the Passover. So they took out that chunk like the day when the Lord's going to do all this. So at that point, it's like, it's not just us is going to know when the Passover hit, but the whole world at the same time, because it's like, it's going to be so big, nobody's even going to talk about the first Exodus anymore. You know what I'm saying? So it's like, God's going to take care of all of that all at once.
Yeah, and I say, look, this is Passover season, because I know some people celebrated Passover. I celebrated it March. You know, that's springtime. That was spring weather, right? When you know it's warm, you know. And I know some folks are going to celebrate it now. Some folks celebrated a couple weeks ago. Some folks are going to celebrate it in a couple weeks. That's what I'm saying. You know, it's like, okay, well, at least we have Passover on our mind and this Passover season. So, you know, I say, look, you don't have to beat yourself up about it, but it's a memorial. It's a memorial. But understand that Yahusha is the Passover. He is. He's the Lord of it, or the Elohim of it.
Did I miss something? I just come back. Sorry, I had to step away. I just come back and I see Wild Man.
I was giving you. Oh, go ahead, brother Kerry.
Yeah. No, I was gonna touch on that because I don't want to have people, stressed out or confused about Passover, because our people do. We get stressed out and confused. Oh, I gotta, and then they totally miss the the meaning of what is going on with it and how we celebrate.
And
So, yeah, look, the Most High knows your heart, especially in this one, because guess what? We're just coming back to the remembrance of who we are. But we're not going to come back to that full remembrance, because I'm going to tell you this. We're disconnected from the land. We're disconnected. So, in order to truly celebrate Passover, you have to be on the land. Because on the land that they don't tell you about, what's happening. They break out the traditions and they say, yep, this is it. This is it. The other folks may come to try to say that they're us and their hue was a little different, and they don't get any play. Remember that Itzhak Shapiro with the Lembas in Zimbabwe or somewhere?
Do you
And
want to be Jews or do you want to be Hebrews or
my
yeah,
Israelites?
exactly.
Yeah, that one.
Exactly. They're like, we don't need to be any of that.
we already it. And
Hmm.
it and
Exactly.
I want to add to what you're saying, Karis, because it is that season, and
Yeah.
even that Passover, we still have to remember the whole Exodus experience. So whatever season, and I think that even in the Old Testament, Leviticus, there's even some leeway for when we were not, for some people who were not in the land and wasn't able to do the Passover. I think the Most High gave them even extra time, that extra extension. But it's just that memorial of us remembering the
Yes.
sacredness of that angel of death passing over our family, because Christ is that sacred lamb that covers us, and so that
Exactly.
and that's like you keep reminding us, give thanks.
Yeah. So I want to turn our focus here, since we're talking about Wild Man. Thank you to J0 for putting this on out there. You sent me a link. This is Wikipedia. This is the fur covered man on the right hand side with their coat of arms. This is in Germany, 1499. This is 15th century Basel. These and look at that, some sort of horse figure, hairy with a knight fighting this. I don't know what else to kind of give an accurate description. Something from like Game of Thrones.
It almost looks like a satyr.
Now let's read this.
Nope.
The wild man of the woods, Woodwoos, is a mythical figure and motif that appears in the art and and literature of medieval Europe comparable to the satyr or faun in classical mythology, and to Sylvanus, the Roman god of the woodlands. Satyr or faun. Didn't we just read that with satyr? This is, you see, the Most High's word isn't mocked.
Isn't Pan character?
Yeah, Pan. Yes, the god of what? Pleasure, I think, is Pan. Which is why, this all ties on into what it is that they celebrate currently. So, if they're being born with horns on their faces and things of that nature, I mean, it is what it is. Wild woman with the unicorn tapestry, and they all come from what? France, Germany, basically all Western Europe. Look at this man, Pedro Gonzalez,
Norwegian people.
But that's what it is. And you'll see some of them will have that particular look about them. They're usually not in public. I remember seeing that on like TLC a couple years ago. I had no idea. I just thought, oh man, it's a genetic anomaly or aberration or something like that. But no.
Beast, the Beauty and the Beast story, really.
Yeah, exactly. No, it's real. No, these things are real. And this is why they do have their coat of arms, because look, they were taller, right? They mixed in. And, this is now really a genetic amalgamation of sorts of what used to be. It's a genetic amalgamation. And now you understand why it is that their population's collapsing.
And they want to call us 3/5 human.
Well, yeah, they look, you have to understand why their population's collapsing, because why? Because they've only been removed from antebellum slavery for about 150, 60 years or so. 5-6 generations. I think we could probably deduce that, in about 8 or 9 generations, they're not going to be here. And they've already said it themselves, in about another 100 to 150 years with this population collapse.
Sorry, Karis, I just sent you something in Messenger. It's a picture. That's the picture I was talking about, that they tried to save from the fire. It's when I first took it, for some reason it's not on my phone. I had to take it again. But when I first took the picture, it was crystal clear. You could see what it was. Now all of a sudden the picture's hazy.
Yeah, it's all hazy. But
if you notice, you can see this is the same image of the wild man of Europe. These wild men. You can't see it with this picture, but those around his area, those are leaves. Those are the leaves hiding his, whatever dignity he thinks he has. But
yeah.
Yeah. So, and you'll see, you can't see it, but he has a full beard. But because I was looking at this this painting, and the paintings, it's like you can see that there's no hair on there. Now they wouldn't have it on there. They'll hide that. They'll make sure that it probably originally had it on there, but then they probably went back in there and, just like how they whitewashed everything else, they tried to whitewash that, make it all nice and neat, and just, they have rituals where they dress up in like a mock moss garb, and the where the leaves around the head have like a full beard on or whatever, and like a hairy all-in-one kind of garment to honor their forefathers.
Mhm.
They have rituals like that in Europe, mainly like on the mainland, in like, sort of like, the Black Forest region of Europe, if you get me.
Mm.
But that's what they do,
Yep.
you know.
Isn't that why they would always have the tales of, all their
Exactly.
scary movies and things of that nature revolving around their
The
forest
dark woods.
communities in
Yeah,
the woods. Yeah, honestly, to me, I think they're still there, but that's just my
I believe they are. I believe they are.
that's my personal opinion. I believe that honestly, when their populations get reduced and they probably have to fan out in the forest, they'll probably be recaptured by these entities. So that's one of their biggest fears.
Hey,
You
do you
know,
know that these guys remind me of the way y'all are describing everything? Have you all ever seen that movie Split?
Yeah, yeah. That was back in a couple of years ago.
Yeah, yeah. It,
Yeah.
it just like, because I wasn't aware of this, to be honest with you, as far as the painting that is, and I don't know why that just. And then when you finished it off, Karis, what you said, I've had those visions about even just sitting back in my mind with my vivid imagination, which I am known to have, whether we fly out of here, sail out of here, swim out of here, them that are left are going to be doing exactly what you just described. And I don't know if it's going to be to each other or, like you say, entities are going to come up and grab them, because I've been hearing and seeing a whole lot of strange things lately, especially since the eclipse. So you're kind of like batting 1,000 right now, bro.
Mm. It's very interesting. Um, we're gonna start to see this pretty shortly. So, when folks are like, "I'm not gonna leave," oh yeah, you will leave. Yes, you
Yeah,
will leave.
exactly.
There's gonna be spiritual things that have been covered from us that the Most High will then say, "All right, now you can see everything," and that will get people moving. That
The
would
veil has been lifted.
exactly. Exactly. It will be
Hey,
like we can't leave fast enough.
do you guys remember, there's some stories, yeah, that I really believe that we was the ones that came up, that created these stories. I'll give you two stories. Do you remember the story of Kid Icarus, the story of Icarus, right,
Hmm.
flying so close to the sun, and he was given wings. He
Hmm.
was given wings from his father, right?
Hmm.
And he flew to the sun, and as a result the sun melted, and then he started to fall down to the earth.
Hmm.
There's two entities in this world that fits. Satan himself wanted to be like the Most High, got too close to the sun, wanted to take over the sun, and then and he fell like lightning. Then you've got, you are of your father the devil, and the lust of his heart you will do those, right? The other story, because I kind of feel like we came up with that story. It just, how would they come up with that?
Yeah.
And then there's the other story about the emperor who had no clothes. And it's like, everybody, this is those people. Everybody didn't want to say, he's got his empire, and you've got all these different people in his empire, yeah? And nobody, he is like, oh, I'm so rich and I'm this and I'm that. And somebody conned this man into thinking, yeah, wear this is the finest fashion. And he put it on, and he's like to his courtiers, oh, what do you think? I look dashing, right? And everyone's like, yes, yes. The nod your head kind of people, like, yeah, you look great. Everybody's talking behind his back, but no, everybody's too scared to say, yeah, you ain't got nothing on, dude. So he goes out strutting his stuff, quite literally, and everybody is kind of shocked, but they're all going along with it because they're too scared of the emperor. Until one small child, a small one, turned around and said, but he ain't got no clothes on. And then everybody's like, oh, and you could hear nothing. A pin could drop and you would hear it until somebody else said, yeah, he ain't got no clothes on. And then before you know it, everybody's pointing and saying he's got no clothes on, until the whole empire is literally saying the same thing, pointing and laughing and saying, you have no clothes on. What's happened now is that he then runs in shame because he has no clothes on. And it's like Esau's he's been revealed. He is naked. Like, what does it say about in the scriptures? Give me a second, because I don't like misquoting. Give me a second.
Okay, well, while you're doing that, we got to get some final comments on in. Usually I try to have this wrapped up at about 10:30. Brother Mike, I see you on. I'll bring you on in after I get all the final comments from the panel.
I can go first with the final comments. I just want to say it's always a blast shooting the breeze with y'all and chopping it up. All I can say is just, keep your head on a swivel, like always. And just keep your mind right, keep your spirit right. And soon it'll be a delight for all of us. All right. Later, y'all. Take care. Shalom.
All right. Thank you, Brother Jaden.
Shalom. Go next. I just want to say it's good to be back. Love chopping it up with you all, brothers and sisters, even those in the chat. I wasn't able to catch a lot of it. And Chantel, you're still that firecracker as usual. Love it when you like that.
I try not to be. I don't want to be.
Wouldn't have you any other way. If you were a little more mellow, I'd almost swear that you were terminally ill. So keep up that
likewise, Brother Roger. Likewise.
good. Thank you, sister. And Nubia. I ate your name up, Nubia. Thank you for confirming what I have been saying. Like I say, that really moved me. I really appreciate that, because that was something that was just bothering me. Sometimes I don't care what people think of me, but sometimes it bothers me. In this case, it was. And as for you, Brother Karis, can you drop that link where I could go to support you? I'm probably going to support you weekly since I'm back now. And even if I come on or don't come on, I'll still be there in spirit, with the support. And
I'm gonna drop that. I'm gonna drop that in the chat right now for monthly support of Quest to Unite Africa. Because we are getting rid of Patreon, so that should be gone. But here is where you can support monthly, and that's here at Quest to Unite Africa.
And then finally, before I drop, Drea Lee, you said that there was a movie that spoke of all this, and I'm always game for that. Another brother in here hooked me up with something good. I think it's Ninja Firewolf a few months ago. But can you drop the name of that movie and I'll check that out? And with that, I say shalom.
All right, shalom. Thank you, Brother Rojo.
And give thanks. I wanted to say to add to what Sister was saying about these stories that they've created, that it's out there in the world. There's a book, I think it's in the hidden books. Let me see it. It's the lost books of the Bible. But there's a book called the Book of Haikar. That's the way you pronounce it, Haikar, but it's spelled Haikar, but it's Haikar, which is supposed to be Haiqar. And that's like a riddle. That's like I guess this was a contemporary that was dealing with the Pharaoh of Egypt and Assyria and Nineveh, all kind of like real historical data. But that was like a whole like a riddle. He was sitting and talking to these kings, and there's riddles and stories. It's almost like, it's like a thousand and one night Arabian Nights, but like this riddle and stories and parables. So that's interesting that you mentioned that. So maybe you want to check that out. Haikar, the story of Hikar, because it's almost like Hickory, Hickory, kind of like, or whatever, that kind of like connection where, Egypt, Ethiopia, the Ethiopians, all these stories came out, and the Romans and the Greeks particularly held on to them, and the Romans just kept on remixing them as they have with their Supermans, and they're still remixing them. But my final comment is also to add on what we were talking about in Wisdom of Solomon in the Apocrypha, chapter 14, verses 18 and on. I would suggest ones would read that. Chapter 18, Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 14, verses 18 to 31. Just talking about these craftsmen that have put hit their own image, blaspheme the image of Mashiach, blaspheme the image of our Father, blaspheme the image, and have put their own image on it, and all the everything that they've done, what they've done to mankind, murdering children and their strange customs and their revelings. But if we read that, we know that their end for them is done. It's a wrap. Um, it's a wrap. For just with the last one says, but just penalties will overtake them on 2 counts, because they thought wickedly of Yahweh in devoting themselves to idols, and because in deceit they swore unrighteously through contempt for holiness. So it's a wrap. It's a wrap.
All right.
If
Thank you, Sister Newbie and me. Appreciate it. You have a good day.
your platform, and Chantal, big it up with their fire. Boom, 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 boom. Thank
Big up,
you.
big up.
All right.
Shalom, sister. Right, sorry. Right, yeah. So that story, it puts me in mind of, I found a scripture. It's in Revelation 3. It's Revelation 3, verse 17. It says, because thou sayest, I am rich and increase with goods and have need of nothing, and knowest not that thou art wretched and miserable and poor and blind and naked. And it's like, when I was thinking of the story about the that emperor, the emperor's new clothes, this literally came into my mind. But we also understand that it's also a spiritual nakedness, like brother Eric said that Esau's skirt has been lifted. I will beg to differ. I'd say Esau's clothes has been ripped off of him. He's literally walking around, but it's a self nakedness. Like, we literally seen them as the wild men parading themselves, running up and down across Europe like that.
Your mic cut out. All right.
Can you
Well,
hear
sorry.
me?
Yeah. Okay.
So
Yeah.
I just finished now, because okay, so I'll speak to you all. I shalom to everybody, and I hope everybody has a good day.
All right. Thank you, Sister Chantel. All right, Brother Mike. Shalom. I can only give you about 3 minutes, Brother Mike, because I got to get rolling. You still on here, Brother Mike? Okay. All right. I'll have him on tomorrow for our Quest Unite Africa discussions live. Yeah, sorry, family. I have to wrap it on up. I got some appointments I got to get to this morning. But thank you, family, for your support, your continued support. Please continue to help on out Quest Unite Africa. We're trying to meet our goal. We're about 1,000 towards our left for this week. That is our operational goals. Got to pay the bills so we can do what we need to do to make an impact. This stuff doesn't come cheap. I know prayers help, but honestly, so do funds. That's how it works. Also, so definitely appreciate it. Anything that you can provide, just ask the Most High to whatever you can give. We definitely appreciate it, and it goes to making things happen on the continent. So Mike is on over there right now. Tried to get him on in, but I have to get up and get out of here this morning, family. So with that said, Most High willing, we'll be back on tomorrow with Quest Unite Africa discussions, and I may open up the panel for Quest Unite Africa discussions. Let's do that. I'm thinking on Monday, I may do a marathon. I may do a 12-hour because I'm going to do a 12-hour. And there's going to be some goals that we're going to try and hit for Quest Unite Africa. When I do that, I'll probably start it early, probably like around 6, and I'll probably end around 6. But you'll have to excuse me. I'll do commercials for like bathroom breaks and stuff. Got to take the dog out, But that's what that's what I think I'll do. I'll do a 12-hour live on Monday. Why not? So, yeah. Let me give a caveat. I got to check my schedule. I got to make sure that I have things together. Whenever you have to travel out of town, it is pretty difficult because you have to go through and it's not like you're traveling to another state. You know what I'm saying? You're not traveling to another city. You're traveling to another country. And there's some things that have to be done with that. So I got to wrap some things on up today and tomorrow with wrapping up the plans for the trip. Continue to keep us in your prayers, family. This is a big deal. If it wasn't a big deal, then guess what? It wouldn't be a big deal. But this is a big deal. The Most High's bringing me there. He truly is. And all I can do is just give him praise and give him glory. Because usually when we get on the continent, things happen. So, yep. So with that, I think that's going to be it for me right now. I got to get ready because 12 hours is a lot. I'll keep the panel open. We'll discuss and we'll try to meet, get some goals and make a way. Maybe I'll volunteer some of the board members. They wouldn't be happy with that. Oh, hallelujah. So with that said, family, I am going to get up on out of here. I got to get rolling. I'm already a minute overdue. And with that, family, Most High willing, I'll be back on tomorrow. Thank you again, family, for your support. If you'd like to support this channel, that's that $sign COVAWK. And again, thank you for your help for Quest Unite Africa. And yes, family, we need your support this week and next week. These are critical weeks. These are critical times like none other. So with that said, family, shalom, salama, siyemi, shalom, peace and blessings, Yasharel.